Hello and welcome to my podcast. Yay. This is Nerdy Distractions, a show where I and my nerdy friends talk about anything and everything that we are interested in. As a fan of League of Legends, and you guys know this, and really all things esports, I am personally super excited for today's guest, especially since we've been talking for almost an hour now, and I've just gotten more psyched as we kept talking. This man has been a part of a lot of events behind the scenes, but I think we all in the league community came to appreciate him from the 2025 Worlds in China, where he won our hearts by being a charismatic presence and supporting some of our favorite pro league players. He also received the panel's choice at last year's Esports Award. So, yes, it is the one, the only Seb Leathlean. Seb, welcome.
Hello.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
What an
so much.
introduction. That's so
Uh,
cool. You really pumped up my tires there. That's like, woo.
I just need other people to know why I'm so psyched for this. And like we were talking, I am a Twitch streamer. I actually not recorded, excuse me. I actually also streamed Worlds. I got Twitch struck twice. If I get struck one more time, it before November, my entire Twitch stream is cut. Apparently,
Why? What did you do?
now that I've watched other people stream it, if you're not like there's a list. There's a list of streamers that can do it and have sound and everything. But I'm watching other streamers do it and they don't have their sound on. So I wonder if I wasn't allowed to use world sound and not just finals. I did a match before that cuz I was like I'll definitely get caught on this and I was like that's fine. But they caught me one early. I think I've actually been struck 3 times. I was able to get one off. But I still don't know why. I still don't know how. You can take a little class and you can get one off. I was commenting the entire time though, so, like, I don't know what it was, but Riot did not like me for that. Me and
Jordan,
my team.
I don't want to interrupt, but I feel like I have to because we spoke for a whole hour and I did my best to try and get a grip on who you are and so on and so forth. And not once did you let slip until we started recording this that I'm actually sitting down with an internet criminal. Is someone who steals Riot Games IP for their own gain. I'm
My
not sure I
personal
should be here
gain.
anymore. I didn't know this. I did not know this.
I think Riot should actually give me more credit because I had 5 people who give no crap about League of Legends, and all of them, I started teaching them how to, pick champs and, like, "Why are they doing this?" And I'm like, "It's because this, they wanna do this." So, I think I
That's
got
not cool.
5 new fans.
So, okay, well, you're doing a public service for sure. But maybe next time, it would be more prudent to, yeah, not have the audio on because that is genuine IP.
Is it that it? Okay. I didn't know that. Now I know it. See, I told you.
Yeah, I mean, also co-stream, they also have official co-streamers as well.
Yeah, they do. That one I did
Yeah.
know. Yes. I know
Yeah.
those lists, I like a lot of those streamers, and I follow them as well. Um, it was just also, like, other people were streaming it that weren't, like, the verified co-streamers, and, like, they have
Yeah, but just
bigger
because other
following.
people are doing something doesn't necessarily mean it's right. I
That's
this
fair,
this
that's fair.
this recording on a completely different foot and tone to what we've just enjoyed for the last hour. It feels like, oh, I didn't know you were like
Are
that.
you
That's
really are you really upset by this? I apologize if you are, actually, now I'm getting nervous here.
no, no. I am
I've learned
literally
my
I'm messing
lesson,
around with you.
I'm not
I'm
do
messing around with you. One, I have no idea how people stream in the first place, so let's get that out of the fucking way. Two, and here's the biggest irony. I'm the lead stage manager for the Twitch event.
So
But
I really
I
just told the
didn't.
person I probably shouldn't that I did that.
Oh yeah. I know the CEO. Damn.
So, can you
So
can
maybe
you just ask her to, like, take a few
I,
strikes off me?
I should have brought that up sooner myself. So that's on me. Okay, that's on me. Um, but really, it's kind of interesting because the two things actually, to the both these things, identify something about me that's different to a lot of people within the
Mhm.
League of Legends broadcast community and in the Twitch streaming community. I am not a streamer. A streamer. I don't watch any streamers.
Hmm.
I'm 48 years old. My son loves them. I'm not the demograph. I'm just simply not the demograph. But I'm not running their stages because I'm an expert streamer. I'm running their stages because I'm an expert at running live broadcast
Events,
stages.
yes.
Right. That's where my skill lies, and that's where I'm highly considered. And it's the same in League of Legends. I believe one of your questions, and we might as well get it out of the way straight away. Do you
Go
want to
for it.
ask me? Please ask me. Please ask me. Okay, right, I'm gonna. Do you know the question I'm going to ask you to ask me?
Wait, I have a
Right.
list, guys, and I gotta look through it.
Okay. Try and look at that and try and see which question would be pertinent considering what we just spoke about.
Let me guess, you know nothing about League of Legends, do you?
Ah, that you'd be wrong there, but
Whoa, okay, okay!
the question I believe is, do you play League of Legends?
Oh, yeah, that's addended to it, so have you played it?
I have once.
Okay, now if you after everything we've talked about, if you come on here and you're like, "Yeah, I played it once with, like, Guma Yushi or, Faker or BDD," I'm g I might have an
That
aneurysm.
would be that would be that would be a hell of a story. And it's not. You've made my story really, really rubbish now because now
I'm
everyone's like,
sorry.
did he really? Did he play with Faker? Oh, that makes so much sense. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't at all. That doesn't make any sense. No, this is the truth. And this is the bit that actually makes sense because it actually happened. I was in Mexico City for Worlds 22.
Yes.
Beautiful place, beautiful people, beautiful community, really passionate. And Mexico City gets a bad rap, but I felt safe there. And the food, the people, everything. I loved Mexico City. So big shout out. I don't think any of them are going to hear this broadcast. No offense to you, but I don't think you're that big in Mexico. I just wanted to get that shout out in nice and early. Those brilliant, brilliant people in Mexico City. And we were short of a player for the playtest one morning, and what we had to do is we had to do playtests for an hour with. I don't think I'm giving away anything. Just suddenly go giving away procedure, but I think actually there's no problem being transparent about us reinforcing the integrity of the championship. So we have to
Yeah.
play test the machinery. Essentially, we have to test out the machinery to do with our graphics that come up and respond to certain things, the LEDs on stage that are, barons and like dragons, etc., etc. So we have to make sure everything is absolutely working. And in order to do that, you get a team, two teams of five. They're usually referees or production staff that will jump on and help out the referees and QC and broadcast for nearly an hour. So it's usually we'll
A
do a
match or
few champ
2, yeah.
selects, make sure cameras are with the order of how we broadcast champ select, and then we've got the doing it in reverse because that messes everything up for everybody in the gallery, everybody on the floor who's shooting. When you do it in reverse, when we do what's known as in reverse, meaning that blue side is no longer on the A side of the stage. Blue side is now on what in the previous game was the red side of the stage.
Right.
But that changes the order on our shots, it changes angles, it changes so much from a broadcast point of view. It's like doing it, we call it doing it in reverse, because it
Verse.
literally is doing it in reverse. We have to practice that because those neural pathways have to remember we've got this way of doing it and we've got that way of doing it, and boomity boomity boom. And then we get into the game itself. The referees insisted, bless them, and they're such a lovely bunch. insisted that having never played a game in my life, I was finally going to have the first game of my life. And I've been involved with League for what, 5 years by that time.
Oh my god.
So I hadn't played a single game in 5 years, and I was probably the only person on the entire global team and probably across the world that had never played League of Legends before, but was working on League of Legends. And yeah, so I jumped into mid lane. I had all the referees, like we just charged down the mid lane, and the
Yeah.
other team came to mid lane, and all the referees surrounded me, protected me. I got 9 kills. We won the game. We took out their base, and after that game, I said, "So, is 9 kills good for a first game?" They were like, "That's like, honestly, it's so good." And I was like, "Awesome." Then I'll retire right there. Thank you very much. I I know when to leave a party. I know when to leave a party. So, the very fact that I can't play it doesn't mean
Hmm.
to say that I can't read the game, doesn't mean to
Of
say that I don't
course.
understand the game. And it really has nothing to do with how well I manage that environment so that the professional players can bring their best game to the fore in that moment. So, and that's the distinction. And I think it's really where other people in my position may there's a danger they could get swept away with what's happening in the game. I have no
Mm.
skin in the game. I have no single player or
Right.
team that I support more than any of the others. So for me, it's a really enjoyable experience. For me, it's a sporting contest. I can see the sport taking place in front of me. I can recognize the challenges, the highs, the lows, and all the rest of it. But I'm not invested in the actual game or the plays itself. What I'm invested in is what the implications are for the end of this match. Who will I need
Hmm.
to prepare for an interview? Who's going to be going where, which way? Who's going to be with them? There's a whole load of logistics to organize and execute that has nothing to do with the game. The reason why I was brought into League of Legends in the first place is to do with my live broadcast experience. Being, I've done well, now it's over 20,000 hours. So
It's you're there for the event itself, is like we were talking
the,
about
the
earlier.
yeah, the event
Of
and the broadcast.
Yeah. Of course, I think how do I say this? I think you should have an interest, not necessarily you have to like it or like it be your favorite thing, but I think you have to have an interest in what you're covering in a sense, just so again, you have enough of an interest in it to be like, "Okay, I can read the game so that it better affects my job and how I can do that." Um, a lot of my a lot of people who listen to this and a lot of people who know me, I am a Faker fangirl. I love T1, but the more that I'm into esports, the more I see all these different players. And again, this is kind of my knowledge. I don't know how much you know about it, but like Gumayushi has moved away from T1. We have a new
Yeah,
ADC, and I really, really got into esports maybe this last year and a half kind of thing, like really following people. Of course, Faker is very popular because who doesn't know Faker if you're into gaming and esports? Who doesn't know Faker for years now? But the more I get into it and the more I see it, maybe this isn't like a getting older thing and maturing. It's like I kind of follow these people now to be like, "Oh, so that's what happens when they move from this team to this team. Oh, that's how this team manages this. Oh, that's what they're gonna do now when they're in the tournaments and things like that." And I have been excuse me, I have an interest in it and I obviously play the game, but it's really interesting how your interest and if you can kind of I don't wanna say objectify it or, like, look at it objectively in a sense, how you can kind of change your understanding, your perception of it. You can see it in a different light, and I think it's really cute that they got you on. You can literally say your first match was on a world stage.
I can. A very
I think
small
that's way
one.
better than what I was saying.
I mean, but yeah, that's only if you're looking for ego stories, isn't it? I
Mhm.
mean, when when I arrived in Beijing. It was my first time in China in 2017. I arrived to be primarily the right-hand person to the lead stage manager for the opening and closing ceremonies for the final.
Oh, wow.
And
Mm.
we were there to do a job that was pretty normal for us. You know, we've done so much live music and stadium shows and dances. I'm used to looking after hundreds of dancers and musicians. You know, that's all part of my remit. That's all part of my experience. Um, and when I came in, our focus was on the opening and closing ceremonies. So there wasn't an immediate window into the actual player side of it and the
Mm.
championship side of it. My focus is on that we need to win an Emmy for this show. You know, this production team are aiming
Right.
for an Emmy, and we have to help them win this Emmy. That is our mission. Had not again zero to do with the game and the outcome of the game. It's all to do with the execution of a mind-blowing opening ceremony on a scale that is akin to almost like the Olympics or something like that in an
Yeah,
Olympic
no,
stadium.
really.
In an Olympic stadium, 66,000 people, the most
Oh my
LED I've ever seen, and the wall, the highest and longest wall of LED that I'd ever seen in my life. Bearing in mind, I've done lots of stadiums, lots of music. You know, I'm used to seeing LED, I'm used to seeing walls of speakers, but on this scale, it was off the charts. And then within a couple of days, the person who brought me out said, "Listen, it's the the world of broadcast that we came from compared to the world of broadcast that we met in
Mm.
Beijing was so far apart that my colleague was focusing on concentrating, implementing a sort of a way of doing things that we recognize from our lineage and from our history. And this isn't a criticism for the way that things were. It's just that the difference between our worlds was so wide that he was focusing on bridging that gap so much. He said, listen,
Mm.
I can't give any of my focus to the closing ceremony. You're going to have to do it. You're going to have to run the closing ceremony because basically, as far as I'm concerned, when we finish this opening ceremony, I'm going to collapse. There's going to be nothing left of me. So I went from being in charge of 200 dancers, 200 musicians, and looking after these top music artists to then taking responsibility for the closing ceremony as well,
That's
which again
amazing.
was a magical experience for me because I got to meet all the founders and so on and so forth. So my VIPs have got to come for a walkthrough, a rehearsal, etc. So I'm meeting them for the first time and really starting by then, we're talking penultimate day, the very last day, we won't talk about show day itself. So I've been there a week and I'm really immersed in this new way of doing things, this new culture that felt so right. And yet, the hours, the temperature working outside in Beijing at that time of year,
Right.
year miles that you had to do on your feet every single day was astronomical compared to what I'd previously done. And it was a good job I was pretty fit, but I wasn't as fit as I am now. Um,
Mm.
and all of these things, and it did feel like this was my make or break moment, basically. It was either going to overwhelm me or it was going to be the thing that would make me. And as light fell in that stadium, we got closer to the conclusion of the match. The the magic, I'm getting goosebumps now just thinking about it. The way the lights looked, it was just like I knew this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. I just am supposed to be with this. I don't even know what this is. It's still very confusing. I'm still coming to terms with the things it forces me to do because I've never worked so much through translators before. And
I'd
that's
imagine.
very, very interesting because translators, with the utmost respect, they're concentrating most of the time in trying to remember everything that you said and just trying to get the words in the right order in their language. Tone,
Yes.
intent, instruction, command, all gets lost through a translator. And so that was really interesting, just like running into that full speed, like for the very first time, having the Communist Party change the routes that
Mm,
you can allowed to walk with 200 dancers around a stadium to get to the backstage area. You know, things like that. You'd have a host of 200 dancers with you. You're getting to the point where the backstage area that they need to be at to be at their starting
ready to
position is
go.
10 meters away from you, but you're being blocked by security who are telling you through a translator that this route is no longer acceptable to you have to now change the route and go elsewhere. And you're finding this out in the moment. And you've got people going, where the fuck are the fucking dancers? Come on, but where are they? We're running out of time, time. We've only got a finite amount of time to get a very
Yeah.
complicated opening ceremony correct and broadcastable and effective. So it was incredibly stressful. I was away from my son and my wife at the time, and that was the furthest I've ever felt away from them in such different time zones. And I had very little. I was unable to communicate very well with them, and I was run down, exhausted at the time, and trying to seize the metal. So it wasn't a particularly comfortable experience, and yet it had all the pros when when you weigh things up. It had all the pros to weigh out the cons, and all the discomfort I was feeling. I recognized that feeling anyway because I knew I'm somewhere new. I don't know where I am yet, but I know I am supposed to
It's
be here.
here.
And that comes from the relationships that I'd made very quickly with the members of the umbrella production company, as well as the members of Riot Games itself. And it felt through every second of communicating or working with these people. It is that feeling of coming home. And I'm
Oh, I
being
love that.
seen for me. They like me being me.
Me.
This
Yeah.
is so new and scary. And and yeah, I think over the years that the resistance or the shields, like, slowly faded away to the point where, yeah, I just see beautiful people everywhere I go around this world. I'm so lucky. I meet so many beautiful people who are so from every single culture, language, part of this planet, and I just feel so welcomed wherever I go. And so I'm constantly living in a space that's loving and considerate and respectful and empowering, not only to myself but for other people. And what
Mm.
a gift from 2017 to meet the culture, to meet the community, to be embraced by the community, and therefore it's simple for me to just do whatever I can, whatever's in my power, and I will strain every sinew, and I will destroy myself on an energy level to try and deliver experiences for the wider audience, as well as the people that I work very, very, very closely with. It's been amazing.
Right.
Like one of my assistant Billy, I met
Shout
Billy
out,
at
Billy.
MSI. Billy drummed absolute one one of the purest souls I've ever met.
Aw.
He's half Japanese, half Taiwanese. So he's got he did have, like when I met him, like the longest, thick black hair. He's covered in tattoos. He looks like a death metal rock star. And and when I met him, that's exactly what he'd been for 10 solid years.
And he
I was
just
like,
changed into esports and to this
well, he was always massively
doing
into esports, but yeah, he had his own record label. He actually produces a lot of Taiwanese pop because that's where the money is. That's where the commercial interest is. But he did spend 10 years being a roadie, a musician, an artist, and everything that, and touring. And so when I met him, he was a production assistant stroke translator in Taipei. And I'd done 2 weeks in Vietnam already, which was wonderful with an incredible stage manager assistant called Jason, who I absolutely adored. And here I am now in Taipei, which is obviously not, it's Chinese Taipei, it's not Vietnam anymore. So it was another shift
Mm.
of country for the final for MSI. Met Billy there. I needed stand-in, so him and his crew came and joined us on stage. We went through all the rehearsals and all the rest of it. And I'm just looking at something about this person. He's incredibly calm, but I can see he's incredibly alert and he's
Mhm.
so responsive. And yet, when I need him to be calm, he's super, super calm. And he seems to be eliciting a really good response from everybody else around him to him. And that's always a really good plus sign for me. But anyway, we did the show, had a great week, a fabulous week, and all the rest of it. And then a couple of years later, I was asked to try and source a local to assist me on the Wild Rift shows in Singapore. And I instantly thought of Billy. And
Yeah.
I contacted him and said, like, how do you feel about, being a stage manager? And he's like, well, I've got X, Y, and Z experience, but I have no experience. I mean, he's so immersed in the League of Legends world. Anyway, huge League of Legends fan. He's already playing Wild Rift. And I know he's got tons of experience, and he's got what was the most important thing is the personality that can work with mine. He's the yin to my yang.
Mm.
I'm very expansive, passionate, energetic, pumping it out like da 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 da. But he's the quiet voice of reason that I will need from time to time. He's the voice of correction that I'll need from time to time because yes, I make mistakes too. So and so yeah, I took him on, and it was crazy because at first it was extremely difficult to try and transfer what at the time would have been, I don't know, where are we? 2021, I think was
That
Singapore.
was
Quite a,
yeah.
quite a few years of experience trying to transfer that into another human being. I learned takes time. And you have to be patient. And so then he went through his baptism of fire, and he went through everything that I went through. Like you have imposter syndrome, you have fear of failure, you have all the nerves of letting somebody else down who's vouched for you. I recognize all those things. It's like you keep cracking on, mate. Keep making your
Well,
mistakes. It's perfect.
I was about to
So
say, it
I
seems like a complete, like, same thing that happened to you in, like, in Mexico City where, like, the guy you were working with, he's like, "Dude, I trust you enough. We've done the prep and I've trusted you enough. Like, I trust you enough to take care of the ending ceremony.
Oh, that
I'll
wasn't
be
Mexico, that was
here."
Beijing. That was Beijing,
Oh,
but
was that
yeah, I know what
Beijing?
you
Oh,
mean.
sorry, sorry, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
You nailed
but
it.
still, it's that
You
thing of,
nailed it.
like, you were giving to him what was given to you. It's like, sometimes you have to have I feel in esports and these big events, and I'd even go so far to say, like, the Olympics and stuff, sometimes to get to that next level of doing something, you have to be trial by fire. And, like,
Yeah,
of course, you don't wanna do that by yourself, but if you know you have someone that's vouched for you, like we were talking earlier, you were like, I want people to make mistakes, I want people to fail and know and trust me that I can, like, help them get back up and, like, I have their back kind of thing. So that's what, like, I think you've gotten that from your past, and that's what you were giving to
yeah,
him. I'm so sorry. I
passing it
saw
on.
the circle and I had to
Yeah.
comment. That's amazing.
But the really cool thing is, like, Billy grew, um,
Mm.
and Billy, because of uh, who he is, the soul that he has, everybody everybody who meets Billy, gets any time with Billy, falls in love with Billy. He's just an absolute
Ooh.
sweetheart. And when he's in stage manager mode, it's hilarious because he's so kind of a different person, but he's Billy being a stage manager, and it fucking works.
Right.
So it's so awesome. But the real beautiful thing is, it's actually the love that he creates in those around him. That's the same way thing that I'm seeking. So, come the end of that championship, Billy had had his baptism of fire. We moved on to the next one. Did really, really, really good job. And then it was time to invite him to come to Worlds because he can speak to the Chinese players in stage manager language. Just so when you think about, we're always going to be, and I hate to say this, and apologies to all the other regions. This is not
Mhm.
in any way intended to put down any of the other regions. But statistically speaking, the two regions that are going to that have the highest chances of being in the final and so on and so forth are going to be Korea or China.
China. Yeah.
Um,
No,
but I'm so
I think
sorry
everyone
about causing
agrees.
anybody any offense. But if we're all just realistic just for a second, so therefore, it's really important to me to have somebody on my team that can speak fluent Mandarin in stage managing terms, not in I'm trying to get the words in the right order terms. Game changer. Absolute game
I really
changer.
w
So there we are in San
mm,
Francisco 2022 Worlds. I've started off in Mexico City by myself, but Billy joins me in New York, and we do the rest of the tour together. And Billy continues to do an absolutely sterling
phenomenal.
job. It freed me up to do more hype with the audience, and that was where I first started getting some real mileage with content with the audience, where I'd go out with the film crew as we're letting people come in to film skits and bits with also all the audience arrival shots all produced by me. So they right
Oh,
like the director, the producers, they trust me to know what they want to see. So I go out and produce the shots that they want to be playing out at the start of the start of the show. But you've got the audience arrival shots, then you've got the team arrival shot. So I'm in charge of all of those things as well, because they know that I know what they want to see on that screen. And they also know that I can meet anybody in the audience and find a way to to bring that out of them so they're alive on the shot. And like people worry about how do I look and la di da di da. Forget about forget about your features. It's about how alive you look on that screen. It's not about
yes.
your features at all. It never has been. I mean, yeah, pretty people get attention, but it's actually when we see I believe when people back home see some of the things that I help to produce during arrivals and during the live show itself out on the floor, I'm aiming to make them want to be there. I
Yes.
My
Yeah.
mission is to show people that aren't there, this is what it looks like if you were here, and boy, oh boy, don't you wish you were here. And what that's like, that for me is transferring live event energy through that screen into someone's living room, phone, or whatever it is, and them going, and I'm connecting with that. I'm
Lock
connecting with that.
in.
I want to, I wish I was there. So have you been to any league events ever?
No, this year, MSI is gonna be in Korea, and I am watching the website like crazy because 'cause I'm gonna try to get
Right.
tickets to at least go to
Yeah.
that. I would go because I know Worlds is in USA this year. I would, but I unfortunately, I'm already going back for a family thing in August, and my job will not let me go back home back to back that much, so I'm really betting on MSI, but I have promised myself if it's in Korea or China or, like, on this side of the world in the next, like actually anytime after this year it's on this side, I'm going, and
And does
I
the
don't wanna be yeah.
broadcast reinforce that desire to be there?
I I was like, I have never loved, um is it considered the ending ceremony, the big musical number that's right before they play the finals? Is that the ending
That's
ceremony or is the end
that's
the
the
opening?
opening ceremony. Yeah, for the final.
Sorry,
Yeah.
yes.
That's all right.
This year's opening ceremony was amazing, and oh, I'm gonna be a little disrespectful. There were s I from our perspective, there was a lot of empty seats, and I was like, "What do you mean? What do you mean there's not a butt in every single one of those seats? Why can't it be me?" Like, it was this thing of, "I want to be there." It's like, "Do you guys realize how lucky you are that you are there? Do you know how lucky you are that you get to see this live?" And I can only imagine what we saw on the screen was like 5% of what they got to see live, and the 5% we got me so jazzed for it.
Hey, don't
No,
like I
you're
don't
like,
like that
"No."
percentage. Don't like that percentage. I want you to be experiencing
When
95% of it. You know, I want that to come through the screen, and that's my point. That is my mission. It's not only to ensure that every single person in that arena has an experience that they will remember for the rest of their lives, they'll tell other people about and want other people to join them next time. But that broadcast, I desperately want that broadcast to give people serious FOMO. It's like, oh my God, I love watching
it
this broadcast. This
works.
broadcast is so good. It covers all the angles that I want to see. It's telling the stories that I want told, but more importantly, it's making me want to be there. And if that's the feeling that we're invoking through the broadcast, that is my mission.
It
That's
was
what I'm
it was
trying to achieve.
so good, I got a strike on Twitch for it. That's how good it was. If that's not, in your 95 and up percentage, I don't know what is.
Love it. Back to Billy. Back to
Yes.
Billy. So we're in San Francisco and we've done the whole tour. Now we're putting together the opening ceremony. And 2 days before the final and 2 days before that show, I'm doing an 18-hour, no, exaggeration, hyperbole effect. I did a 16-hour day whilst in the first stages of serious COVID. So I started off the day telling people
Yeah.
I've done a COVID test. We're all masked anyway during that entire event. So 2022, we were all still fully masked up. The audience for the first time weren't, but we had to maintain mask at all time. So, 16 hours a day or 12 to 16 hours a day, or even 10 hours a day in a mask isn't much fun. And I don't want to moan because obviously the nurses and the doctors and everybody on the front line, yeah, but it's uncomfortable. But then I could feel my energy was just dropping through the floor and I could feel myself, I'm like seriously coming down, like cigarettes don't taste right. And that's my first indicator. Sorry, I smoke. Terrible
Mm.
habit. I'm
No,
old.
no, no.
It's me. The only thing I've got. I don't drink or anything else, so it's the only thing I've got. Um, yeah, and as I was, the last 2 hours was spent lying on the stage floor, directing everything through my headset because I was unable to actually physically move. Got to the end of that day, went back to the hotel, and it was just like I can't see a way of getting to work tomorrow. Did the COVID test, and they were like, "Okay, yep, it's positive." And they were like, "Please come and get it done properly at ours." For sure. So then I had to drag myself from the hotel in a taxi just to get the news confirmed that my world was over. And I've been with DRX from the start at play-ins in Mexico City. Um, they had in New York when they were 2-0 down in the series. They sent
Yep.
one of their team members. Have you heard the story about when DRX presented me with a bunch of gifts to say thank you for looking after them? Well, with 8 minutes before they were due back on stage for the third match in their would have been quarter final. Can't actually remember who they're playing. It might be it wasn't Genji. I can't remember who they're playing. Anyway, they're 2-0 down the series. They think they're going home. So they send their colleagues to say, "Is it all right if we give you a gift?" And I'm like, "Huh? Give me a gift? What for?" Like, we just want to say thank you for how you've looked after us. That's lovely. Oh my God. So, okay, you're back on stage in like now it's 7 minutes, right? Yeah, yeah. Is it all right if I give you? So the team came out, presented me these tote bags with their merch, their shirts, their jerseys, as you call them, sorry, their jerseys, their cuddly toys, their key rings, all the rest of it. And just want to say thank you. And I'm like deeply touched. So it's
Like,
Kamsahamnida,
I'm just
Kamsahamnida. I'm like, right, okay,
oh,
now, like, you're now down to 5 minutes. Are you all ready to get back on that
yeah, are you
stage?
guys good to go?
Like, if you're running out of toilet time. And so, anyway, as you already know, they came back and performed the reverse sweep. So it was
It was
just like, holy shit, that actually just happened. That's crazy. And then I was like, why did they give me? Oh, because they thought they were going home. And they know that at the end of the match, once we hit that Nexus explosion, I'm into
like
high
they're
performance level of clearing, getting the
oh,
winning certain people from the winning team prepared for an onstage interview, getting my host ready. There's a whole bunch of things. So by the time that all that would have finished, they would have gone. I wouldn't have had a chance to say goodbye. So they were so, so sweet. And then so to see their triumph in Atlanta was just like, wow, this is. this is crazy. Like, can Death do it? Could Death go all the way here? Like the journeyman, Faker's peer from school who didn't have the career that Faker had. I mean, the story was huge. It was so big. And obviously, again, as well, Faker at that point and T1 at that point hadn't got their hands on the World Championship trophy
No.
themselves for something like 6 years. So for me, it was just like this. This is setting up to be a hell of a story, and like from a broadcast point of view, and I hate to like bring it back to broadcast, but our job is eyes. Our job is eyes, and our job is people seeing the product that we've sweated blood and tears to create. So if we're looking towards this sort of a story with great outcomes on both sides and maximum eyes, despite the lack of it being a Chinese team being there, there's still all the like. This is great. This is absolutely great. And then 2 days before the final, bang, I'm out, and I'm not going to be coming back. That show's got to go on without me, and that
Mm.
would be. They flew in the guy that does the Oscars ceremony to fill my shoes, which my friend said should take that as a compliment. It was hard to take it as a compliment because I was crying.
You wanted to be there, you worked for this, and
I was
in a
so much
way
pain. And I watched that final through just hours and hours of tears and temperature spiking at like 103 and just I was so ill. The show wrapped, everyone left San Francisco. I'm still there in quarantine in a hotel room, dying. Like it was like honestly, I wouldn't wish the COVID I had on anyone, and I was double vaccinated by that point. I just think
Oh
thank
my
fuck I
god.
was, but the sense of loss that I experienced, I went full grief, like that's how much I care. Like to not be able to do the job that I'm born to do, that I've sacrificed so much, I've given away so much of my life in order to walk that walk. It felt like it had been robbed from me. And here's the thing. That was the show for the first time the stage managers won the Emmys,
Oh my god.
but I didn't get one because I wasn't there.
'Cause
Billy, my assistant, became the first person in Taiwan to ever win an Emmy. How amazing is
let's
that?
go, Billy! Oh my god.
Next thing you know, he's on national television doing TV interviews, magazine interviews, radio shows, newspapers, the full works. And then he got a couple of big money job offers off the back of it as well. Changed his
Good.
life completely, completely.
But I guess
And
that's
then me, I
yeah.
was watching my TV career shrink and shrink and shrink. So by the time I got to Worlds and career in 23, it was like, dude, I'm so happy for you. Your life is truly taking off, and mine is reducing and reducing to nothing. This is crazy. And then that was the World's career 23. So luckily we met April in Busan at uh,
Mm.
at MSI, and that would have been 21. And April is Korean, um, uber intelligent, just fucking ridiculously intelligent, speaks Mandarin fluently, like flawless
God.
Mandarin, and she's Korean, speaks beautiful English as well.
Oh my
And I was
god.
short stage manager there. And I was like, the scale of this show compared to the amount of stage managers I've got is I can't do this. I need another pair of hands. So it's very similar to Billy. She was not just a translator. April was a translator. And then I was like, can you also be a stage manager? Can you be trained by me, fast track?
Right, you're
Would
like,
you be
I will help
interested
you do
in
this.
the idea of becoming a stage manager? And she grabbed that opportunity with both hands and delivered. And so it's really amazing that by now Billy has become a central part of the furniture. 23. He's now an Emmy winner. And April's now come onto the team as a stage manager, not as a translator, filling in for an absent stage manager that we never booked.
Mm.
And um, that year, I'd spent an entire year grappling with my ego because I wanted a fucking Emmy. Why is it that I can't
Right.
get a fucking Emmy? I've put in the work. I've put in the years and years and years of sacrifice. Why have I not got an Emmy? Why is my life not being changed? Now, I recognized that even at the time. It's like, that's just your ego. Check out
Mhm.
your ego. Right. Find some love and happiness for Billy, because that's all there anyway. Get rid of all this other crap. Because so by the time I got to Worlds, I'd actually worked through the fact that I didn't have an Emmy, I hadn't lost anything, and I'm with two brilliant people for Worlds in Korea, 23. And it just, again, felt like I was in a transition point at that point between letting my marriage, career, and a whole ton of stuff go. It was like almost like starting from ground zero.
Mm.
That run was amazing because I did, again, more work with the audience. And this relationship with the audience really started to begin to grow. And it doesn't matter that I can only speak a few words of Korean because I have a very expressive face, very good at
Yes.
indicating with these two hands what I would like. And I'm very good at pouring appreciation and gratitude over whoever has done what I have almost begged them to do, and they've done it willingly. And now they're receiving loads of praise and love from the very person that asked them to do it. So it just felt like something there was really, really growing, and it felt authentic, it felt nice off the back of the Hulu theatre shows in New York, where there was this real connection with the hype moments and getting the audience going and so on and so forth. Riot was starting to see me as like he really is like a little hype guy as well as a senior stage manager. He's like got this connection going, and it's like they were like really happy to just let me explore that and continue with it. And full credit to Riot for, again, it is like the same credit that I give other people. It's just like I trust you. I trust you. Crack
Right.
on.
Yeah.
Just crack on. I trust you. You get it. So crack on. So you're working freely and authentically and willingly, and then yeah, we got to watch T1 lift the Summoners Cup on home soil, which
Yeah.
we knew before that final kicked off. It was just like nothing against Weibo Gaming
Oh,
because
yeah, no, no.
lovely team, lovely bunch of players, very respectful. And T1 again, lovely team, lovely bunch. Like from a colleague point of view, there's no difference between each of those two sets of players from our point of
Hmm.
view. But the story, and we're in the Sky Dome in Seoul, in Korea. The story is if T1 lift this, they're going to be the first League of Legends team to ever win the World Championship trophy on their home soil. That's sick. And it's also going to be the first time T1 have won it for fucking years, like 7 years or whatever.
Yep.
It's also a kind of like a circle coming round and completing with the Faker story because, obviously he was the prodigy. He was like achieved so much younger. And then he hits this barren spell where everybody questions his skills and
Why
maybe
is
he
he
even did a
still
bit of,
on? Like, what are we doing? Like, are they gonna let him go
right,
soon? Like, oh, I remember that because I was like
right.
that was my first time that I was like, he is at that time, what, 28? He was like 27,
Yeah,
28, and I was like,
he's old.
he's yeah,
He's
exactly. You
old
don't
for a player.
it's like normal sports. It's like, no, if
Yeah,
you're 25 and you're still in the space, you're ancient. Like
yeah.
this year as well, when they won Worlds, they were like, "You're 30 and your contract's been extended for another 2 to 3 years. How do you feel?" And he's just like, "I just have to play differently now." Because he's like, he has said like maybe his movements haven't gone as slow as people like to think you become at 30. I'm 31. But you do, there's a reaction time difference, but he has even said, "I can't play like I did when I was in my 20s." Now I have to play like the leader. I have to know what's going on the map. I have to let the youngins do the fighting. And I'm just there to kind of, I have the experience in the game. And so I definitely remember that time because I was like, is this the last time I'm going to see Faker? He'll become a coach, right? Like he's still going to be here.
All of
But
those
no, I
questions
remember
were
that
in the
time.
air, weren't they? But then
Yeah.
the king returned, and he he did it in on his home soil, which was again it was just like every single league experience I've had, whether it's within the regions or on international stages at MSI or Worlds, there's always some form of magic to be found. And
Yes.
when you live that and you experience that, oh yeah, the for the closing ceremony, we wanted to keep it kind of moving, and they didn't want to use VIPs and founders, etc., for the closing ceremony for the 23
Huh.
Worlds closing ceremony. So they're like, "Oh, we're doing the closing ceremony rehearsal." We're like blocking, working out how we're going to shoot it, like how do we manage the flow around, because every single stage is unique and every single stage requires us to block new routes for absolutely everything, its angles and so on and so forth. So we're blocking through closing the ceremony. I'm like, who's handing out the MVP trophy? They're like, oh fuck, oh, Ed, can you do it?
That was you?
Yeah, I gave it was Zeus, wasn't it, who won the
Yep.
MVP that year? Yeah, it was
Was
Zeus.
it?
So
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So I'm side stage, not only running the closing ceremony, but now I'm holding the MVP trophy, waiting to go on to deferentially bow to Zeus and hand it to Zeus and get out of shot again as
Quickly.
as quickly as possible, but with full dignity. So it's not like my usual job where I'm not supposed to be there. It's like you are supposed to be there. So walk with conviction, etc., because you're not trying to hide yourself and be a stage ninja. This you are fully visible. Now they cleverly broadcast it so you only see literally the last second of me bowing and handing the trophy over. Then I disappear from shot. But obviously,
Perfect.
everybody there in the arena can see me go on. And I'm stood there going, what the hell happened? How on earth had this come to pass? Where in 2017, I came out to be here as a broadcast expert, as a stage managing expert to, assist the success of a show, to be given the honor of handing over the MVP trophy. This was,
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, it's not a broadcast honor. It's not an honor that I can turn around and say, "Hey, look, I was the person they chose to." I wasn't
Yeah.
chosen. It wasn't because I'm a particular person that's like, you know what, we really should get Seb in for this. He's very credible. That's the right sort of person we feel has the gravitas to hand over such a hard-earned trophy. No, none of that at all. So I've never blown off about it, never put it up on my socials or anything like that. In fact, at the time, I think I'd only just come onto Instagram. But long story short, it's the honour that they gave me. So there's all this going on, and I came to the end of that job, and I was like, I felt exhausted. I felt pretty emotionally drained,
I'd imagine.
and I knew I was going back to the UK where things were seriously barren for me, and I did not know what was going to happen next. And
Mhm.
then I, I don't know, a few months later, get the thing. Seb, we've put your name down. What for? For the Emmy. No fucking way!
I
No
might get an
fucking
Emmy.
way! We put your name down. We put Billy's name down. We put April's name down. No fucking way!
That's
I win!
wonderful.
Because I put my heart and soul into them. Every single Emmy they've won, I have absolutely busted everything in me to try and help them get it. Oh yeah, that's the point. That's why I'm raising this. That year career, the reason why I was so fucked and drained and exhausted afterwards, because I was beasting myself throughout the entire thing. I had to. We have to win the Emmy. We have to. Billy, you've got one. Me and April don't. Come on, guys, we have to, we actually, and I put on way too much pressure on myself. And
Mm.
I put too much pressure on my team. Thankfully, we delivered. Thankfully, we did. And
Yeah.
that's down to the grace and the dignity and the excellence of Billy and April. Um, we delivered. We won the Emmy. April is now the youngest female in Korea to win an Emmy. And I'm like, my people
Let's go,
can eat.
April!
And it's really helped her career. That recognition, that acknowledgement, particularly as a female in Korea, I don't want to go into things too much, but as a female in Korea, really fucking A makes me so proud. You know what I mean? I'm so fucking proud. April and Billy, they're like they're like my legacy. They're like I'm when I'm
No,
no
they
longer
are.
here, Billy and April will still be doing it and they'll be doing it better than me at my best. That's I feel so passionately about. I'm so proud about both of them. I won the Emmy as well. So I get my Emmy.
Yay.
What's
Now
changed?
what? Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, like,
Fucking
so okay, what's going on
nothing.
now?
Nothing has changed. In fact, I feel empty because I'm ashamed that I placed so much stock in gaining this award. And it was like my final lesson of seeking the external to validate the internal. It was just like, there you go. Isn't what you're looking for. This isn't the answer. This is not to be found in gaining an award. So whilst it changed the careers of both Billy and April, it did absolutely zero for
Jack
mine.
for you.
Zero. It didn't get me a single bit of work. Didn't get me a single bit of recognition. Didn't get me a single bit of acknowledgement. Like absolutely zero. And so it was like, this has been the most beautiful, powerful lesson ever. And so that was the moment where I really relinquished any residue of I need external validation. It was just kind of like by
Mhm.
then we got to London last year for 24, and Riot have asked me to be the person that brings the trophy in. The Summoners Cup in my tuxedo and all the rest of it from the Mercedes, like Jeep special trophy carrier vehicle. You know, I'm like, no other job on this planet or area has given me so much honor and recognition for the sacrifices I've made, the energy I've put into this production and the people within it. It was just like they just continue to honor me. And that entire run, 24 in Europe and culminating in London, I on
That
my
was
soil at the O2, which is an iconic venue, my country, with a production and a game that my country is still only just catching up. So it felt like another way of like bringing this show to my country. Go, look, whilst you lot have been doing all this, this is what I've been doing around the rest of the world. Take a fucking look at this. This is it. This is the future. You've got
you
entertainment,
kind
you've got
of had
show, you've got music, you've got
you
sport.
kind of had
This
your
is
Faker moment. Faker got his trophy in Korea, and you're like, I got the Summoner's Cup in mine, basically, is
well,
what this is accumulating to.
like, if you're creative, you could certainly interpret it that way. But I just felt like
Hey, I
for
want a
it just
story.
felt
I
like
thought you would appreciate.
it just felt like the best honor. It just felt like the continuation
Hmm.
is it's like I will do anything. I will make I would do anything to climb the mountain with this team, with these people, this with this community. You know, again, in Europe last year was a great opportunity to meet the fans, work with the fans, for them to start to get to know me and just like, oh, that's Seb, and know how friendly I am. And I will always have time for you because I can see another human being. And I'm very grateful that you're here in the first place. Of course, I'm going to give you my time. If I have my time, you've got my time, you have my attention. I'll give it to you. Why wouldn't I? I appreciate you. You're one of the reasons why I get the honors of bringing in a great big fucking massive trophy in my
Trophy!
tuxedo, you know, like, no, why wouldn't I be? And like, you know, so that reason why last year felt so good, not last year, the year before, like 24
Hmm.
felt so
Like
good,
24.
was because this time we weren't trying to win an Emmy.
Mm.
We weren't trying to win an Emmy. We just wanted to make a show in the most loving, caring, compassionate way that we could possibly do it without any pressure. We've done the pressure bit. We've done that, done years of all that. We know our systems can cope with that. So we don't need to add any more pressure on. And that was like when almost like you'd say like the lotus flower really started to open up was last
Mm.
year's tour. And that was when I was really then coming into my place of love within myself and love for everything and true acceptance of everything. Reality isn't something I'm going to try and change to suit what I want. Reality is something I'm going to make sweet love to. I'm not going to create a story
It's just
to
gonna be.
satisfy my sense of inadequacy. I'm going
Mm.
to, if I have any inadequacy, I find it, look at it, let's sit with it, let's set it free because it's not true, it's just a story. So, in fact, it was when I started really coming into being being present, and that love. When you're surrounded by that love all day long, it's an ever fulfilling prophecy. So the audience are feeling that, the players are feeling that, my colleagues are feeling that. And we're all creating an environment that we all love to be in. So I really do genuinely know that I'm one of the luckiest human beings on the planet. That despite the fact that I don't play League of Legends, I dearly love
Love
League of
it.
Legends. Like love, love. The community, the best fans of any sport. I've done sport as well, done lots of sport in my country, done the football, done national football and so on and so forth. So I've done I've done all the other things apart from it before I came to esports. And then so the fans are amazing, the players are amazing. League of Legends is an intelligent game played by intelligent people,
Yes.
watched by intelligent people. I don't have to dumb myself down in this environment. This is heaven. This is absolute heaven. So I know how lucky I am, and also work with some of the world's greatest creative geniuses from broadcast visual and putting on spectacular performances. That again is my absolute. I come from a theatrical background. I'm desperate for the toilet. But what I wanted to talk about next was I noticed in one of your Insta posts that you harked back to some origin in theatre. Right. Tell me. Theatre.
Yes. So I did theater in university. Well, that's a lie. I've done theater since I was very, very young because I love singing. And then what, maybe when I was in middle school, I was doing singing lessons. I did piano. Still, I can't play the piano. But the piano teacher also did singing lessons. I really want to do singing lessons. So my mom was like, okay, you'll do 30 minutes piano, you do 30 minutes singing. Great job. And then that teacher was like, "Hey, we have a play and one of my people can't be in it, and she sings a song." And there she was like, "Jordan doesn't need to be in the play, like, for the whole time. I just like, we would like to, like, kind of throw her in, let her sing the song, and then out." Again, I'm in middle school, I'm, like, 12. And my mom was like, "You sure? Like, can she even sing this?" And my teacher was like, "I'm literally coaching her, like, I can get her ready to sing this." So we did that, and I did the song. I don't remember that moment. I don't remember the actual stage moment, I just remember the lead up. I just remember enjoying it enough to be like, "When's the next play that you guys are putting on?" And she was like, "Oh, we're gonna do, like, a zombie one." And I was like, "I hate horror." "Put me in, coach. Put me in. I wanted it." I got to be a zombie cheerleader. Um, it was I don't know why I remember that. It was another singing part, so I was like, "Why not?" And then from there, it was just I was in that was the start of middle school. So, 6th grade in the US, I couldn't do drama, but the 7th grade, I had done these 2 plays, and I was like, "We can do drama, like, we have to try out for drama, but I can do theater." And I tried out, and I was in theater from 7th to 12th grade. That teacher was also the choir teacher. So, like, it was kinda like the same thing. I had a teacher that did singing and, like, got me acting stuff in, like, the community, and then I had my school one. And I loved it so much, and my teacher could tell that I loved it, that 2 of my biggest achievements in not to be like, "Oh, I peaked early," but one was in the 10th grade. We did 7 brides for 7 brothers, and I wanted to be
Brilliant.
one of the I love that play. Like, it was my first time
Great.
hearing about it, but I asked my mom, I was like, Dad, I need you to, like, download this movie. I need you to find me this movie so I know what it's about. Because we didn't have the script, we just kinda had, like, the parts to try out with, and there's a singing part, and I worked my butt off for 2 weeks, to get this part, and I was the only 10th grader 'cause, um, seniority mattered. So if you were a senior, it was your last play trying out for it, you usually got the part, and I was the only 10th grader out of all the 7 main parts, to get a part out of all these girls. All the others were
Yeah.
juniors and seniors.
Yeah.
Um, I just remember being so proud of that moment because I put in so much work. So I was like, "This is the only thing I want here." And then the second one was the next year, 11th grade, um, the teacher had chosen a play with a female lead. It was Annie.
Mm.
And there were no seniors who were, like, really were into theater. They kinda did drama just to, like, have a nice elective, a fun elective to do. Because if you didn't put effort into it, you could still just, like, get a part where you walked across the stage and you were done, you know what I mean? Um, but there was a lot of ninth and 10th graders, younger girls who wanted Annie, and it wasn't this competition of, "Oh, I'm better than them." It was just, I know exactly how I want my Annie to be. So we sang Tomorrow, and, I completely forgot the dog's name. I'm so sorry. People are gonna come for me with pitchforks and torches. Um,
I
Sandy,
doubt it.
Sandy, Sandy. I remembered it, so now they can't. Turn around. Turn back around. Take your pitchforks and torches away. Sandy, and I mimed that Sandy was there because in the song, she's singing to this dog about tomorrow and, like, Sandy is a part of it.
Sun's gonna come out tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, and none of the other girls had done that, and again, it wasn't this thing of like, "Oh, they're not doing it, so I'm gonna do it." It was just I was so connected with this character and just with acting, like, I wanted to be on stage for as long as possible, and Annie was the part that was on stage the most. So, I put so much into that. Um, and I got that part, and then my senior year, one of the guys that I had been with, he was very big into theater too. It was kind of like his turn to get the play, and there was it was Fiddler on the Roof. He was the father. Um, and
Brilliant.
I got the middle daughter who actually has the only solo song. And so, like, I didn't even plan for that one, but it was just we had more girls in at that time, but the teacher was kinda like, "I can't trust anyone else to learn this song because we can't practice it because we need to be practicing with the guy who's, like, the main part." And I was like, "Fair, valid, but I am gonna practice, right?" And he's like, "You're gonna practice, but it's gonna be at a lower scale because I know you'll practice on your own." And to me, that was a wake-up call of not like I guess people could say like, "Oh, the teacher trusted you, so you had like, people trust you, like, that's great." But to me, it was a credit to how much I loved acting and how much of my own energy I put into it, and that meant so much more to me. Then I hit university. I did a year of business school, hated myself. We had a drama department. I remember starkly sitting out 1 AM. I lived on campus the first year in this, like, business, like, not ensemble, but like there's a business floor. All the students were doing business. We all did classes together. It was really nice. I don't regret it. But I remember one year in my spring term when I was considering things and I went to the theater 1 o'clock in the morning and I sat down and I cried for like an hour. And I was like, I am so miserable. And I changed my major to theater and I got Tale of Two Cities. I got Lucy. My very first play I applied for in university, I got the part that all the girls wanted. Like, and they're very good, talented women, and I got it. Like, I waited till 2 a.m. for them to post they emailed the listing, casting call, or casting, excuse me. And then they also did I was in a few minor parts, and then the last play I did as a senior was Antigone, and I was Antigone.
Ooh,
And
wow. Antiquity's
the po
amazing.
the poster they put up all across the school was me from the back, 'cause my hair was curly and, like, they kinda teased out, and I'm just looking over my shoulder. So you just see me as I'm going to all my different classes. No one knows it's me because it's quite, like, dark. They're trying to get this mysterious Antigone, people have died kinda
Ah,
thing. But all my friends, I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, we're doing Antigone," and they're like, "That's you!" And we'd be at the local Starbucks, like, on campus, and he'd be like, "Hey, did you guys know that this is her?" And I'd be like, "Shut up, guys. Just shut up, please. No, no." But it was probably not probably, it's not my biggest regret. I was gonna say probably my biggest regret, it's not. I applied, that's how I know Japan was the right choice for me, because I applied to about 4 or 5, acting programs, some internships and things like that to, like, get into different parts in America, and I didn't get any callbacks for it. But the program I applied for in Japan is also very, very hard to get into, and I got an interview, and I bombed the interview. Did not bomb the interview because they asked me to come, and I was like, "O okay." And I've been here. Coming to Japan has always been a dream of mine as well, so it was kind of like a 50-50 thing. I was like, "One of these has to work out for me, right? Surely one of them does." But I do regret where I live. There's not a lot of theater. There's not a lot of English theater in Tokyo. They have, like, a lot of English theater troupes. Um, and it's not just a language thing. Japanese theater scripts are very, very differently acted than English scripts. So I wouldn't feel comfortable. I'd be fine watching it, but being a part of it's completely different. It's not what I'm into. So I came over to streaming where I'm real and I'm honest with people, but I've also told people, like, "We are not friends, like, what you're seeing on a screen is me acting out as this streamer Reaper." And, we're big, we're loud, we're boisterous, we're honest about, things going on in the world, like, I'm gonna tell you straight lace, I'm not gonna take any shit from you. But this is kind of the closest I can get to acting nowadays is through streaming. But as time goes on, kind of in connection with you, I've just become more honest and more comfortable in my streaming sphere because I think I keep connecting it to acting. And when I'm the most, weirdly enough, I'm the most me when I'm playing someone else, which people are going to be like, oh, that's not good. And I'm like, no, no, no. No, 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 it is, because there's a lot of thought going into, like, these things. It's not I'm doing what society wants. Acting is literally doing everything you're not supposed to do. A good character has flaws, and a good character goes through growth and things like that in the story, and that's what we like about them, and I'm like, that's the stuff I get to connect with every time I'm acting, and I'm not, like, me on a daily basis. So, I haven't talked about my theater history in a long bit. God, got to remember all those moments. So, we were talking about how you're also
Well, the
from
reason why
theater. Where's Yeah.
reason why I picked up on it is because it's something that I relate to instantly. So that's the
Hmm.
connection between you and me, and I'm always seeking connection. Um, and one of your questions was, how did you become a floor manager? Did
Yeah,
you did you choose that, or did you accidentally fall into it? And so, if you're ready for my origin story.
I am. I am so ready for the origin story. I've got my water and everything.
So, let me see. So, at the age of 5, I was dopey in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs
Oh
at my
god.
school, and I stole the show. So that was my first realization of, if I do janky, clowny shit that can make a bunch of people laugh. And
I have a
so I realized you
very
got your finger up. You got your
I
finger up.
have a
Sorry.
very rude I'm gonna say it's a rude question, 'cause I just remember Dopey from Snow White, and I don't think he had any hair. Were you also bald at 5 as you are now? Or did you have hair
I
back
mean,
then?
I was wearing a dwarf hat, which is
Oh,
almost
okay.
like
I
a
thought
Christmas hat with a
yeah, I
bobble on
feel
the
like you
end. And
yeah.
then I had these fake big ears for some reason. Um, but I can confirm I definitely still had hair on my head
Hair.
at the point. I chose to go bald at the age of 26 because male pattern baldness runs in my family. And rather than it being forced upon me, I decided to own it from the age of 26 before I actually went bald. So I don't know when I actually went bald because I actually physically took myself to this at the age of 26 and I've been there ever since. And
Since, yeah.
uh, yeah, you do get a lot of shit for being bald, which is really funny because it's something you didn't actually choose. And given the choice, of course, I'd have long flowing locks. And given the choice, I wouldn't be 5'6" either. I'd be 6'2", at least. But yeah, these are things I can't do anything about. So what I can do is own them fully, fully own them. And so I made that decision at the age of 26. So yeah, glad we've got the baldness bit out of the way. That's
Sorry,
that done.
I'm told you
Well, I
this
am
is yeah.
the bald friendly uncle in China. It is something that is immediately obvious about me. Um, it's not something great in the dating world, and neither's 5'6".
To be
But
fair, the dating
luckily,
world ain't great right
I'm
now
very
anyway,
happy
so
on my own, thanks. I really like my life, and I don't want to share it with anyone right now. Sorry, that's just the way it is. So yeah, actually, it's fucking brilliant because I don't have to worry about my look or changing my hairstyle or buying product or going to the hairdresser or buying
that's true!
shampoos and conditioners and all of that bullshit. That's gone. That's been gone from the age of 26. I'm 48 now. For 22 years now, where I've enjoyed and embraced my baldness. Now, um, Snow White and Seven Dwarfs was we had my
So
first
sorry,
connection
yes.
with a live audience. Stole the show. I was also the narrator for the nativity because it was two shows in one. We had Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Then we had a more traditional nativity, and I was
Mm.
the narrator for the nativity. And I had to learn pages and pages and pages of lines, and I was expected not to read it all, but to do it off by heart. And
Oh my god.
I discovered that I'm really kind of good at learning lines, and really enjoyed standing there in front of loads of people delivering those lines. So when I got to primary school, because that was like a prep school, and when I got to like a back into mainstream education and primary school system, um, I was I'd already been playing piano from the age of 3. It's playing violin, cello, a range of instruments. My mum was a tiger mum, and she was desperate for me to speak languages, play musical instruments. I was in all the choirs going. And then when I got to comprehensive, which is the next level of school, I think you call it high school, I think. Yeah, when I got
Yes.
to high school, my parents allowed me to audition for one school production every 2 years. And there was one every
Mhm.
term, but I was allowed to do one every 2 years. They did not want me doing it. But there was enough stuff coming from the teachers to say you should please let him audition. So once every two
Good.
years, I had a decent part and enjoyed it. And um, then when I was 16, my sister was 14. The situation that we were in, the circumstances we were in with our home life, came to a front. And my sister and I were then we were placed in separate foster homes, and that was when I first emerged from 16 years of abuse, physical, mental, and at one point, I don't want to trigger anyone, but I've been abuse on
You're
every
getting
level.
very strong, yeah.
Not
Oh my
not
goodness.
never sexually abused by my parents.
Okay.
So I just don't want anyone thinking that. Um,
Okay.
but a life lived in abject horror, fear, self-loathing, shame, despite being top of the class student, doing everything in my power to please my abusers and achieving none of it.
Mm,
My sister was placed in separate home to me, which kind of was a fork in our relationship. I'd been her protector until that point, but then I was sick of being her protector, my mum's protector, and I didn't want to protect anyone anymore because I was in a right mess myself.
mhm.
I started doing so. I went through the first exams you do in this country, GCSEs. I don't know what your first level there. But at the age of 16, you sit a load of exams and they inform your future. And I
SAT,
got through them.
ACTs.
SATs, I think, are stuff they test you on all the way up to that point. But the GCSE is the General Certificate of Secondary Education.
Oh.
All
Oh,
right.
okay,
So it's a
okay.
qualification. And you sit 10, 11, or 12 exams, depending on how many subjects they put you in for. So by that point, my grades had really begun to suffer along with my behavior because I was suffering and traumatized and angry um, so anyway, I got through those exams. I got some
Mhm.
good grades, not such good grades, but enough to do my A levels, which is the next level of education. But I wasn't ready for A levels, and the leap between GCSEs and A levels academically is huge compared to the gap between A levels and degree level. They're actually
Oh.
much, much closer. But GCSE to A level is where you actually have to really train your brain academically, start writing analytically, um,
Mm.
and develop, yes, an intellectual and academic approach to learning. And the ability to then, I could speak everything very, very well, but actually getting it down on paper, I really, really struggled with. And I also had no motivation to do it because um, my parents are both in academia, and to follow in their footsteps was painful. So I originally went back, I was in foster care, and I went back do my A levels after the summer holiday, and I was there to do government and politics, history, and English. Ugh, I was not in the right place. So
Yeah.
I'd been on the ocean most of my life, been in and out of boats, sailing, and everything, skimboarding, windsurfing. But what I hadn't done, bodyboarding, never done waves. And I was working
Huh.
in a cafe in my hometown where I'm from, and they were opened up a new surf shop down on the docks. I wasn't aware of any surf shops before, but they were going to do a big thing in our cafe that night to make sure everyone in town knew that this new surf shop was open. And one of the things they did was bring in all their friends, which were very cool looking surfer dudes. And, these were the coolest people I'd ever seen in my life. They played a bunch of videos of people bodyboarding. Me and my friends were just like, holy fuck, what the fuck is that? That's insane. They were like, we're going to run these trips to the North Coast, to introduce people to bodyboarding. This guy here is Dave Hurd. He's one of the best bodyboarders in the country. And we're just like, holy shit. Right. Okay. So went on that me and my friends went on that trip, went up to the North Coast, had first experience ever with waves, and I'm an addict anyway. I'm an addict. It took me 3 hours to get past the whitewater. 3 hours, and I'm a very, very strong swimmer, very, very fit. I went off at the age of 16, went to my local gym at the YMCA for a fitness test to think about joining the gym to actually improve my bodyboarding fitness. And I already went off the scales for a 21-year-old in terms of my
Oh my
endurance, my
god.
fitness, my stamina, my blood levels, my heart rate, everything. I was an athlete, absolute athlete at that age. And yes, long story. Got hooked. My first ever wave. I didn't have the right equipment, but finally got out the back and airdropped off the top of this thing, landed on the bottom, and just kept on going straight instead of turning along the wave and going along the wave, which I didn't know how to do. That wasn't, no one, you didn't know.
You
I
weren't
was
taught
just
that yet.
now a missile heading for the shore, going, and I was absolutely hooked. And that's when I discovered bodyboarding. So whenever there was a wave, I wasn't at school. I was like, I hate A levels. They suck. Bodyboarding and hanging out with all these really cool dudes, and like a lifestyle that I didn't even know existed, and now I've got access to. I want to be a beach bum, man. I want to chase waves around the world. Fuck this academic bullshit. I don't want to be anything like my fucking parents. Like, I'm rejecting this holiness. It's all I can
Mm.
see is really unhealthy. There's nothing healthy down the academic intellectual route. It's all toxic as fuck. That was my only experience of it. And all it said to me was academia, intellectualism is pure hatred. It's pure bitterness. It's nastiness. It's mean. It's fucking like over critical. It's like, these fucking bullshit, basically. So I rejected. I became a beach bum. And I went straight down that surf shop oh yeah, so they phoned me up, and by then I'd moved to supportive lodgings. The school phoned up the house where I got a live-in landlady, basically, this lovely old
Hmm.
lady called Julia, who was a devout Christian and was the truest version of Christianity that I've ever met in my life. She was divine.
Oh.
I was soul and exactly who I needed to be with when I was in pieces and not knowing who the fuck I am and not knowing why I'm so angry and have such a propensity for violence. And I grew up in a very
Mm.
violent hometown. So you'd have to, but where I went to school, we had 3,500 kids in that school. And you had to fight once or twice a year to prove your reputation. So people would then leave you alone for the rest of the year. So if you've got a propensity towards violence, there's plenty of opportunities to practice that and get your butt kicked and, learn some valuable life lessons. But anyway, so there I was taking my fight to the sea. The school phoned up. I picked it up. It's like, hello. This is the college. Is that you, Seb? And it's like, oh shit, yeah. They're like, well, where are you? And I'm like, I'm at home. I'm on the phone. We're talking. And they're like, oh yeah, smart ass. We can't actually teach you if you're not here. So if you're not going to be here, we're not going to teach you. You're out. And I'm like, for real? But I can leave school? But don't have to carry on? They're like, if you're not here, we can't teach you. And I'm like, so that means I can fuck off? If you're not here, we can't. Right, I got it. Right, I'm leaving. They're like, what are you going to do? We're like, I don't fucking know. I'm not doing school anymore. Bye. I'm going surfing. Cheers. So 2 years, I went down to the surf shop and went, "Gives a job." And he was like, yeah, right. And I kind of like made myself indispensable there for a couple of years. Went on tons of surf trips to the North Coast. Went on various different surf trips around the planet, chasing waves with no legitimate skill or technical ability, just sheer stubbornness and willingness to throw myself into very dangerous situations and find my way out of them. Being a charger means you might not necessarily be the best bodyboarder technically, but you have the kahunas to drop in to the most dangerous waves. And so if you're an adrenaline junkie and you're an addict, you go looking for the biggest waves. And I didn't know I was a terrible bodyboarder. I thought I was shit. I had no idea what other people could see. I couldn't. But I had respect because of the positions that I put myself into and still got myself out of a life. So I had respect, but I definitely didn't have the ability.
Hmm.
In my head, I was like, I'm going to be a pro surfer. People used like friends of my parents would come down to the surf shop. Like I remember the dentist, like because my friends were members of the fucking yacht club and all the fucking rest of it. So I had some seriously rich and judgmental friends, and here I was, this college dropout, and he's working in a surf shop. So every now and then you get someone come in to try. You can tell they've been sent in by my parents to try and change the situation. So in comes the dentist, who I liked, didn't dislike him. He's like, "Don't you have any aspiration?" I'm like, "Yeah, well,
To
yeah,
be a
pro
pro
surfer."
surfer.
He's like,
Yeah.
"Pro surfer?" He, for real, because he knows I'm academically intelligent. My dad is
Hmm.
very academically renowned, and so for them, it's just an utter waste of a brain. And they're not taking into account all the damage that's been done for the first 16 years of my life, and how I'm no longer actually capable of being a human being because of it.
Mhm.
And there's a reason why I'm throwing myself with no like value to my life. There's a reason why I'm throwing myself into these gnarly fucking pits, like almost tempting the ocean to take me, drown me. And it nearly did 3 times. It's twice I've regained consciousness on rocks,
Oh
spewing
my
up the
god.
ocean. Twice. Yeah. I didn't care. I was just like, I placed no value on my life. I had no self-worth. All I knew was that the ocean was giving me what nobody or nothing else could. So there I am. Then I realized after 2 years, I was like, I'm still in Exmouth and I'm earning no fucking money. I'm like, I can't, I can't afford rent. I can't afford a place of my own. I've got no life. I can barely afford the drugs that I'm fucking taking.
Hmm.
And you're having to come up with all sorts of hustles in order to, like, so I discovered drugs really properly at the age of 16.
Oh god, yeah.
Once I, once I went into foster care, I discovered marijuana. I'd already had dabbled with magic mushrooms. I did shit tons of LSD. Between 16 and 18, I was hallucinating my jam jar off. The lid off my damn jar. I was absolutely tripping balls, and I was seeking a death in the ocean. And then it hit me. It was like, well, this isn't a lie. There's no
Hmm.
future here. I could hear the dentist. Haven't you got any aspirations? Like, fuck yeah, I do actually. And then my closest friend came back from London. Because then all my friends have gone. They've all gone off to fucking university. And I'm still in my
Yeah.
hometown. And shit. Whoa, shit. This sucks. And I hate this place now. Because, like I think if you grow up anywhere, you either love it with all your heart or it and you stay, or it provides you with plenty of reasons to leave and grow your life. So I realized then that yeah, I'm not growing here. I was like,
Mm.
fuck, I need my A levels. So I'm gonna have to turn my back on the ocean. And he came back, sorry, that's right. He came back first Christmas and he's gone to London to go to drama school. And I've been with him on the beach. We've been practicing all his audition speeches, working with him on all those speeches. And like we're there at 6 o'clock in the morning, yelling it all out into the sea, which is like a really great way of training voice and so on and so forth. And he went off. He got into Central School of Speech and Drama, which is a highly prestigious drama school in London, fee paying. He had to pay a fortune to go there. But his parents, he was the guy with the
Oh.
perfect background. Parents who worshipped the ground he walked on. Money was never an issue. Like, toys, never computer games, like whatever you wanted to do, you could do. And like I was the absolute opposite, which is why we probably gravitated towards each other so well. But on top of that, he carried this sort of existential guilt for that. And so
Mm.
with me as his friend, he he did everything he could to make my life better. It was just like
Mm.
this friend of mine, it became his life mission here to like, I've got the best life ever. I want Seb to have as good a life. So he comes back from London after the first term at drama school, and he's like, "You need to go to drama school." I'm like, "What the fuck? That's for people like you. That's for kids with mummy and daddy backing them to the fucking hill. Like your confidence comes from people being in your corner 24/7, telling you you're the shit. I've been told I'm a piece of shit. my entire fucking life, regardless of my grades, regardless of my behavior, regardless of all the incredible things I've managed to achieve at a young age. I'm still being told I'm a piece of shit. You think I've got the confidence to go to a fucking drama school, become a fucking actor? He's like, dude, you finished? Right. Okay. So I'm surrounded by people at drama school. They're all like you. I'm the one. I'm getting emotional. He's like, I'm the one that doesn't have a story. I'm the one who's not fighting and doesn't have anything to draw upon. You've got all this stuff to draw upon. You'd be an amazing actor. And like we've done loads of productions together on the ones that I'd able to be in. In
Right.
fact, when I first went to foster care, no parents, I was able to be in Midsummer Night's Dream, and I was Oberon and he was Demetrius. And we'd hated each other through school up until that point. Interesting point. Hated the shit out of each other. And we used to get each other in trouble all the time. And then we got into A levels and we're going to my English class. And I got there late. And the only seat that's left available is next to him, my
Him.
mortal enemy, my nemesis. So the first couple of English classes, this is whilst I was still doing my A levels, because I did them for
Mm.
about 6 months. And then he's like, so you're going to be auditioning for Midsummer Night's Dream? I'm like, yeah, sure, of course I am. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, which part are you going for then? He's like, Demetrius. I'm like, oh, that's fucking cool because I don't want that part. That's great. He goes, what do you want to be then? I was like, it's definitely Oberon for me. We both got the parts. And then we became really, 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 I mean, still my brother. Absolutely. His, his, his level of love and unconditional love for me is something that I will be grateful for the rest of my life. Always be grateful for because he was there for me when I and loved me, not to gain anything himself. And yeah, so he comes back, says this, and I'm like, right, fuck, drama school. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to do my A levels. So got stuck into my A levels. I'm stacking shelves overnight at a supermarket and doing my studies in the day. And then you get into the next year of A level. So, but yeah, no, this time I went back to do the things I wanted to do. So
Mm.
this time I went to do English literature. So, books have always been my salvation. They've always been my escape. They've always been. I was locked in my room from 7 o'clock every night as a kid. So they were my TV. They were my radio. They were my way of transporting myself from the pain, from the abuse, to somewhere else and pretending I could pretend to be something that I wasn't. So books were really important, English literature, and then there was film and video, which was a fine art course, which introduced me to working with cameras, and theatre study. And it was like, yeah, okay, great. So then I went and auditioned for drama schools, and I couldn't look at Central because I couldn't afford to go to Central. The only two that I could audition for were the two that were offering a BA honours degree in acting. So I would have a BA honours degree after it if the acting doesn't work out. And they are standard university fees, not extra drama school fees on
Okay.
top. So I only had two
Mhm.
options. I auditioned for both and I got a recall for Manchester and I got into Rose Bruford with my girlfriend at the time. So
Wow.
a credit to my girlfriend at the time as well. My friend who had given me the unconditional love, and then my girlfriend at the time who knew time management. She was fucking amazing with time management. And if we apportion this time to preparing for our exams, and we schedule the day like this, and it looks like this, we'll have covered this X, Y, Z, da 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 da, and then you'll have done everything you need to like. So in terms of preparing for exams and preparing and to really like to be with somebody who is as focused as me on the result was amazing. But not only that, she was really good actor and an amazing singer. And she also wanted to go to drama school. And so we supported the shit out of each other. We both
Just go
auditioned.
for
But
it.
when we got the letter come through the post, we didn't want to phone the other person. Because what if the other person hasn't got in?
Didn't, yeah.
Hey, have you heard from Rose Bruford? Yeah, have you? I got in. Did you? I got in as well. What? I think we broke up about 6 months later.
Drama school does that to you. Excuse me.
It was before. It was before. It was before drama school.
Oh, wow,
We
okay.
actually broke. We broke up about 4 weeks before we both went to the same drama school, and I got our relationship wasn't working anyway. As academic partners, etc. Great, but our
Mhm.
relationship was not working. And to be fair to her, that wouldn't have been all her fault at all. That'd have been all the mess that I was in, and I don't know what a healthy relationship looks like. And I am nowhere near fronting any of my own personal demons. So, you know, credit to that person. You know, there's no malice, there's no pain, there's no bitterness. She was an amazing person, right for me at the time, but I was then headhunted for a job in the south of France to be a sailing instructor and the entertainment manager for this huge adventure school that had busloads of school kids from the UK. Like we used to cater to about 800 a week, and I'd be the entertainment manager and one of the massive team of sailing instructors. That basically meant finish your A levels. Now you can have 3.5 months on a south of France beach on the Côte d'Azur, white sand, blue water, beautiful sunshine, and you're living the life on the beach. And I was like, I'm in. And she was like, if you go off on that job, we're over. And we were almost over anyway. And I was like, well, if I can get you a job there, should we carry on? And she's like, yes. So I got her a job. She hated me being the boss.
Yeah.
Really, really hated it. And towards the end of that season, we officially broke up and she went back to the UK. And I fucked off around Morocco with my friends on foot. And
Nice.
had proper real like waking up in life moments, taking huge risks. Didn't know how I was going to get home. I said goodbye to the coach, with the staff coach. I had 50 quid's worth of francs in my pocket. Three of my friends had said it would be amazing if you came to Morocco with us now the season's over, because we're taking the car down to the southern tip of Spain. We're going to get a foot ferry over, then we're going to travel around Morocco, then come back, and then we'll head back to the UK. So I'd fucking love to do that. It's just that they're like, you've got a credit card, right? I'm like, no, I've got a savings card because I've been working my balls off to save to go to London. But a
Mm.
savings card, I've got money. It's just that I don't know if I can access it. And they're like, it's got some sort of Sierra link on the back. They're like, oh, we reckon, wow, we don't know, but we think you could. And I'm just like, fuck it. Fuck it. Bye bye, my way of getting home. That 18-hour coach journey all the way back to the UK. Fuck that. I'm going traveling with my friends. And just when I did run out of money, we just pulled into Gibraltar. And Gibraltar's a UK colony. And first thing you see is like a red pillar box, a letterbox. Then you see a British copper with his like UK policeman person's helmet on.
God,
You're just
yeah.
like, oh, this is so weird. I've just spent, like 3.5 months on the beach in the south of France, haven't seen anything English. And now suddenly, but like, I know I'm not in England. And oh, shit, there's a bank that matches my savings account card. Oh, shit, we're going to Morocco. I've got money now. So, yeah, we had the best time backpacking around Morocco, learned a lot about myself, got back to, and flew back from Toulouse. So rather than, I got back A level results whilst I was away. Boom, three A's. Bang. The drama school needed BBC because they didn't want me to throw away my A levels. So I was so determined to get three Bs, but they wanted two Bs and a C. I was so determined to get three Bs that I worked so closely with my tutors, spent hours and hours and hours every day getting mock exams, writing essays, rewriting essays, just I put in all the graph like you did. I put in all the graph, knowing I'm going to get out of this what I put in. This isn't
Mhm.
necessarily about academic intelligence. This is how do you pass an exam and get the maximum points. Bang,
Yep.
three A's. I find this out when I've just got back into the UK, phoned home and spoke to my gran. She's like, where, I know that you've been, where have you been? I'm like, North Africa. Like, okay.
Everywhere.
It's like, so do you know what you got for your A levels yet? And I'm like, no. It's like, you got three A's. I'm like, what? No. And I just knew then that was like, right, okay, I'm now no longer, because that really hurt. Those 2 years, stacking shelves overnight, studying in the day, running on a deficit of sleep, and my brain hurt so much. It is a muscle. And if you do overuse it,
Mm.
you can fucking hurt your brain. And it almost killed my love of reading. I never wanted to break down a English literature text ever again, looking for themes, like all the fucking like, it's not bullshit. It's actually critical analysis is absolutely essential, and you can read things on that level and it can enrich your experience. It was just like in such a way
So
that I
much.
just didn't fucking want to anymore. But I'd got into drama school. So did my 3 years at drama school. By the time I got to the end of drama school, I was fucking sick of it. Oh, God, absolutely sick of it. I was shit. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible,
Really?
terrible. I was the worst student, probably in my year, easily. Not through ability, but as a student, I was shocking. And considering that the amount of people that would have killed to be in my position at that school is where Gary Oldman went, and various other theatrical greats, etc., etc. It's a really good theatre school. It's not RADA, it's not Central, but it's renowned as the character school. So if you've got a face
Hmm.
like mine, you come out of there and you go into character acting, you're never going to be a leading her human. Um, but by the time I'd done 3 years of it, I I was just like, you've done 3 years of physical work on your body, your movement, and understanding every single bit tells a different story. Every single position is telling the audience something else. So became very physically aware over 3 years. Then I had the vocal training. Most importantly, it was the breath work. The 3 years of very, very so a lot of the movement work as well is pretty much you're doing 2 hours of yoga every day before you do anything else.
Yep.
And unlike university, where you're attending lectures 2 or 3 hours or four max a week, and all the rest of the time is spent in a library um, enriching what those lectures taught you through further research. We were doing 12-hour days, vocational. Monday to Friday would be standard, but once you got into shows, it would also be standard that you would do Saturdays as well.
Yep.
And for me, that was great. I don't want to sit at a desk. I don't want to do anything further as academic. That suited me down to the ground. But essentially, it was 3 years of um, taking drugs, heavy drinking, and chasing my lust, for want of a
There you
better
go.
word.
Hmm.
Um, and not doing myself any service or the course any service. So, like almost like chalk and cheese between the person that got the A levels, the person that's studying at a really good drama school. I was, I was awful. And if I don't have any regrets,
Hmm.
weirdly, I don't regret not being a good student and necessarily taking on the opportunity I've been given to the absolute max. Because the reason why I don't regret that is because I can look back with full clarity and know who I was then. And I was still someone reeling from 16 years of abuse. So, and the breaking down of yourself to neutrality to then place the things on top. The character, I relied on tricks, theatrical tricks. I didn't,
Hmm.
and this, and bless the tutors, they're more than happy to tell you. So I wasn't in a place where I felt loved. I wasn't in a place where I felt like um, I was, yeah, anything about me was being honored. I felt highly criticized, and that's the point. And it's the point I wasn't getting. I already come from such a place of A damage
Criticism.
that
Mm.
just sounds to me like you're one of you sound like somebody who used to abuse me. Do you know what I mean? Physically and mentally, and like so. I don't regret it. I don't regret it. And so I did my 3 years. My final term, no, final year, beginning of the third year. We finally have our TV and film term, which is like such a great, exciting bit 'cause you've done all the history of theatre, you've done different eras of theatre. But the thing that we all want at the age of, like in the year 2001, we want to get into film and TV.
Yep.
Theatre's great. We love it. We want to train for it. We love the immediate response to our work. But we know that prestige lies, careers lie, money lies, film, TV. So at that point, by then, I'm taking way too much cocaine and I'm drinking way too much alcohol. I managed to get a job um, with the college where every morning I would arrive at the college at 6 o'clock in the morning with another student, and we would be part of the cleaning team, which were East End locals, like in their 60s, proper salt of the earth people, shall we say, not refined, but they're they're cleaners, It's like they don't need
Yeah.
a degree for their job. But what they were, despite their rough around the edges, they were to me just I adored them and they adored me. And so like I spent the first 2 hours of every day cleaning poo off the porcelain and hoovering rooms and with a stinking hangover. And so, in order to sign up for the film and TV unit, the very first day of that term, Monday, was come in, clean the toilets, hoover up. I've got a hangover. I've been working till midnight the night before in a pub in Greenwich in a bar, and I've probably shoved at least 3 or 4 lines up my nose that previous evening. And I feel like absolute death and shit. And all I want to do is go home and get some sleep. So if I
Hmm.
sign, because I'm there first thing in the morning, the sheet is there. I'm like fucking wicked. I'm just signing up straight away, 9 a.m. slot. There's another person that was with me. Um, she said, "Have you got a partner?" And I'm like, "You need a partner? What?" I'd done no work on this. They'd send you this huge pile of scripts for this unit, and I skim read most of them and just threw it down in disgust, going, "Fucking utter shit! This the writing is fucking awful. I don't like any of these scripts." And apparently, you're supposed to pick one, and you're supposed to partner up, and you're supposed to have a scene, so that the next day on the Tuesday after the sign up day, you can start working on that scene with the film director. So she's like, "Have you got a
Whoa.
partner?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "Do you want to be my partner?" I'm like, "Savior, thank you. Yes." I'm like, "Have you picked the scene?" She's like, "Yes." And I'm like, "I'm definitely with you then. I need to link in with you later on, but I just need to get this out of the way, go in and see the director, and then go home. And like, we will link up tomorrow. We'll nail this. Don't worry. I'll be the best partner ever." Anyway, walk in, bowl on in. I'm arrogant. Fuck, and I don't know where that came from. I had no right to be at all. I wasn't a particularly good actor. Wasn't even a particularly good person. Wasn't even a particularly nice human being. In fact, that was pretty dreadful. Full of jealousness, bitterness. Everyone else is getting so much more of a break than me. The Chiefs seem to like everybody else so much more than me. And I wasn't a very nice human. I wasn't in a good place. And so, hold up, walk on in. He's like, "Hey, Seb, nice to meet you. You are Seb, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, first on your list." He's like, "Okay, tell me a bit about yourself. How are you enjoying Rosebery food?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's good. Yeah, good. It was my dream to come here." And I'm like trying to be on brand. And he's like, "So have you, what type of characters do you normally play?" And I'm like, "Being pretty typecast, play nasty little bastards." He's like, "Okay. Okay." He goes, "Have you got a partner?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You got a scene?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yep.
He goes, "Got anything else you want to say?" And that was the moment I thought, it's time to be clever. And then I can get out of it. I'm going to bring this guy on side. Watch this. Yeah. yeah, between you and me, been through all these scripts, mate, and between you and me, I don't know why the college has given us these because they're fucking shit. Oh, the writing. Ah!
He wrote them, didn't he?
And that was when I went, oh shit, you wrote them, didn't you? He's like, yes, I did. You little shit. And I went, okay, so this is easy. You put failed down on that form right there in front of you. I walk out that door now. We never have
We'll
to see
never
each other ever again. How about that? He goes, you don't get off that easily. He goes, how's your sight reading? I'm like, okay. He goes, all right, I want to see you sight read this scene. It's a Deptford cabbie, he's a nasty little bastard, and all the rest of it. And I'm like, oh, I didn't see that one. Which one is it? So anyway, I sight read the character for him. He's like, you lucky little bastard, you got away with that. He goes, no, I'm not going to write failed down on this form. And he goes on, I want to see your scene with your partner tomorrow. We're gonna make some really good stuff this week. And I was just like, okay, cool. Actually, you seem pretty cool. By the end of that week, I was like, right, you're coming down to my bar tonight. Going to get you absolutely shit faced. How does that sound? Going to introduce you to a ton of musicians, other actors. You know what I mean? I'm going to give you access to some seriously fucking cool people that you as a director are looking for. Think like, and he's just like, yeah, that happened. Got him absolutely wasted,
wasted.
and and then um and then, yeah, we stayed in touch. And I came to the end of my did my showcase, got four different agencies interested, and bombed on every single interview. And so I've come to the end of my school career, my drama school career, and I'm like, fuck, I've got no agent. And to top it off, the previous night, me and my friends got caught doing cocaine in the toilet of a pub that we'd only just started working in, and got instantly booted. So I was just like, fuck, I've got nowhere to live. I don't have an agent and I don't have a job. And for some reason, he phoned me up, went, what are you doing next week? And I'm like, well, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? It's like, I need a production assistant. And the thing about you that I've noticed about you is that you're more than just an actor. And I think I think you've been really good in my office. I can't pay you very much. I could pay you 50 quid a week, and you're going to be doing 5 to 6 days a week, and you're going to be doing 12 to whatever hours. But if you want the experience, I'd love to have you. And I was like, let's fucking do it. So I sofa surfed then for the next 9 months. I lived on 50 quid a week, sold a lot of drugs. Not proud of that, but that's how I could get my drugs. And then yeah, so I worked on 6 shorts, and I was production and unit manager for a mini feature. I was working with the actors, and they loved me and I loved them back. And that was my first time of looking after talent instead of being talent. It just felt really, really natural. And so he was just like, I just want to keep you as long as I can. I know I'm not going to have you for long.
Hmm.
And he said, like, if you ever get the chance to be in a production, then you can leave at any point, but I want to keep you as long as I can. Continued sofa surfing. Then about 9 months of doing that, and it was just like loved it. I was a researcher, like production assistant, unit manager, location. Like, because it was such a small company that had no money, the range of responsibilities was like, oh yeah, get Seb to do that. Oh yeah, get Seb to do that.
Whoever
I'll
can
get
do
Seb to
it,
do that.
yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like pile on, absolute pile on, but like a real wealth of experience and a taste of what it is to be behind the camera rather than being a clown in front of it. And I absolutely loved it. And then we also organised these massive live short film nights with live music in Greenwich. And it was amazing. Turn of the century, so many musicians in Greenwich. So we were making super bands every week and doing these soul numbers, and I'd be performing these soul songs and like with this tightest band, and then putting on like promoting all these short films, and we'd get like 450 people squeezed into a space that could only hold, 350. This was before my understanding of health and safety. We got really good at promoting it. So I learned all the aspects of promotion and how you start off rumors here and there in certain pubs, and so and so is going to be coming to this film night. And Jude Law, thanks Jude Law, you are such a massive draw. He's such a massive draw in Greenwich because he originates from that area. Like if you say Jude Law's going to be
Oh,
somewhere, people are like, fucking yes, he's super famous and he's like really fit and beautiful and like he's a proper Hollywood film star. And it's like if he's going to be there,
yeah.
this could be my time. You just go fucking yeah, of course he's going to be there because he hasn't named himself as one of the producers on this film, but he put money into one of these short films. You just fucking lie your ass off, and next thing you know, you've got a huge crowd.
So
And
people are coming, yeah.
I got I got the college call me up, my old drum school, going, "Are you still interested in acting?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They went, "Well, we've had a theatre company phone in with some interest for you. They're doing a production of The Hobbit, and they're doing a national tour, and they're doing a West End run in Shaftesbury Avenue." And I'm like, "Fuck!" They're like, "The audition is tomorrow lunchtime in Pimlico in London. Can you make it?" I'm like, fuck yeah. Now, at the time, I'm promoting the Greenwich Film Festival, which I'm one of the key organisers of. We created a film festival just after all the live music and like we built it into a proper bona fide
Film
week
festival,
long
yeah.
film festival where we had the stars, we had the directors, we had people coming in for live Q&As and so on and so fully fucking legit. I'm like, wow, like I didn't realize that I just like put all my energy into my learning my future job. It just did not know that this was happening and occurring. I just loved every fucking second of it. And now I've got the logo for the Greenwich Film Festival with two hands doing that, right? And the
Yep.
director said to me, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool to promote the festival? Because I still did bar work. I'm only earning 50 quid a week at the company. So I'm having to work all weekends and nights when I can, doing bar shifts to actually get any fucking money." And he's like, if on your bar, if you've got that shaved into the back of your head and the two hands with different color, that would be fucking cool. So I went to this African Caribbean um, hair barber. And they're like, it's in New Cross, which is back in the old days was a fucking dangerous area, and a little bit of racial tension and stuff like that. But I walked bold as brass into this hair shop, and because I knew they got the skills to do the etching that white barbers
Yes.
they don't have the skills, or they didn't at the time. So let's just keep race out of this. But that was why I had to go there. And I explained the brief, the mission. I need that in the back. They were like, "Wow." They're like, "You like black people?" And I'm like, "Why? Why shouldn't I?" And they're like, "Okay, that's good enough for us. Cool." And so I sat down in this chair. They shaved the two hands into the back of my head. I went into the back room where they've got like to have it dyed, a bright luminescent pink one and luminous yellow the other. Both those hands on the back of my head. And I'm watching this full community at work because that's what this shop is just. The barbers is just a center. They've got a huge urn full of like spicy vegetable and meat soup. Like people are just coming in, helping themselves to bowls, chatting, moving on with their day. Do you know what I mean? It was just like a central community
It's
hub. They had these
community.
videos playing of women of African origin dancing that would have made many a prude blush. And I'm like, oh, this is wild. This is so wild. But yeah, so I went and auditioned for The Hobbit with those two hands in the back of my head. And I'm like, how the fuck am I going to get this part? So I just did the hood and went and auditioned and got the part. And this is when Lord of the Rings is just about to come out.
Yeah.
Didn't the Rings. So this was like wild and the most
Huge.
money I'd ever been like my salary I went from like 50 quid a week to 450 quid a week, which
Oh my god.
was fucking ridiculous because it just meant I could get more cocaine.
I don't wait.
Bad, bad. More money, more drugs, more self-loathing, more damage, more toxicity, more ego, everything. There I was. Fucking amazing. In the Queen's Theatre on Shaftesbury Avenue for 3 months over Christmas as Lord of the Rings comes out and then embark on a national tour. Got an agent and became an out of work actor, legitimately. Basically, still working bars in London, going for
But you have an
auditions,
agent.
not getting them. And the only thing I'm getting are really crappy, cheap commercials that the pay is so low and it's just a flat buyout. None of these,
Mm,
like you hear about your friends getting like a chocolate advert that just they keep getting royalties for every single year, and it's been 20 years since that advert was out, and it's being shown in some part of the world. They're still getting a check for it. No, none of that. And then lots of theatre and education. And never did I repeat my supreme luck of getting into the West End ever again. Never did I score a TV show, even though I went for so many auditions, and I didn't
mm.
score a single film that wasn't a student film. So, and yeah, so I met a girl, and it was really obvious that she didn't want to be with an out of work actor. She wanted to be with somebody who had a job. Bless him, my friend who I spoke to you about earlier, his sister by now has gone on to become a production manager in television. And she also saw all my efforts with the Greenwich Film Nights and to the film festival. And she had said to him, Seb, if he ever stops acting, let him know
Get
if he wants to come back behind the camera, I can get his foot in the door at this company. He can start off at the bottom. I can't do any more than that. All the rest will be down to him. But I can get that door open for him. And I was like, wow, out of
wow.
all your friends, what's so special about me? But of course, they're all fully actory. And I'm like half actory, half production-y. Like my brain was kind of split. And yeah, so after what, 2.5 years, 3 years maybe of being an out of work, jobbing, nothing, glorified bar person, met this really nice girl who I really liked.
Right.
I was just like, right, whatever it takes, I'm gonna do it. So it's like, yeah, I'll
I
get a
gotta
real
get
job. I'll
something
get a
together
real job.
now.
I'm like, dude, can you phone up your sister? Can you just check if the offer still stands? Why? My agent's just shut her books. It's a sign. I'm like, okay. And next thing I know is my friend's sister, her boyfriend is the floor manager for a daily live TV show in London. And she's like, I want to try and get you into where I am right now because I'd love to work with you and it would be really great to give you that opportunity. But my boyfriend thinks he can get you a gig before that. How do you feel about doing the BAFTAs main show, being a chaperone? I'm like, I've got no idea what that is, but fuck yeah, just let me in. Let me in. I'll do it.
Give
I'll
me the
do it,
job.
son. Yeah. And so then next thing I know is he calls me up. We have about a 2 hour conversation together. I think it was only supposed to be about a bit like this. It was only supposed to be about 15 minutes. And we ended up chatting away for 2 to 3 hours. He really liked me because his girlfriend, my brother's sister, back where we came from, had was in a very abusive relationship with an absolute psycho that everybody in my hometown was actually shit scared of because he punched up. He, like, from a very young age, took out people that were supposed to be way harder than him. And what this Charlie, lovely Charlie, loved about me was the fact that Charlotte had told him about the time when this guy beat up two of my friends when I wasn't there, and I spent the rest of the night scouring my hometown trying to find him to confront him, and got into a fight with him. Um, he knocked me down, like just chinned me, knocked me down and jumped on top of me. But then, because I'm small and lithe and I know what I'm doing, I spun him around beneath me and put the advantage back to me. And it started bashing his head into the concrete. And then we're like, have you had enough? let him get up and let him run off and let him escape, yelling after him, "Don't come back to my hometown ever again." Now, my friend's sister's boyfriend thought this was the best because he'd heard all this horrible stuff about. I mean, he was paying the price for the stuff that this guy had done to his now current
Yeah.
girlfriend, because there's the scars, there's the damage, there's the trauma, there's the mistrust, there's all of those things. So to hear that, oh, can you give this guy a helping hand? He's the guy that decked out
But
this guy and put him on the ground and showed him, like, some actual feedback for once. He's like, I want to help this guy. So anyway, so we link up. I mean, these are very tenuous links, but they're all there, they're all part of the
I love it.
beautiful web of life and experience in this realm. And so, yeah, so he got me this job as chaperone to Patrick Stewart at the BAFTAs. This was a 12-hour day. This was going to pay me £35. And the shirt that I bought to do it cost me 70, because I was speculating to accuse them. I wanted to look the shit. I didn't have a suit. Like most people were turning up with all these suit bags. And I'm like, well, I've got a really
I
nice
got a
shirt.
shirt.
Yeah. And the night before was Valentine's. And so I'm celebrating with the girl that inspired me to give
Get
up
a
being a
job.
jobbing actor and go and see if I can work in TV and, like, bring some aspirations to the fore, achieve some dreams, actually put my skills to use. So
Your
anyway,
dentist would be
night
so
before we,
proud.
the night before, the thing that was the glue in our relationship, and it wasn't a healthy relationship, unfortunately. It was a very toxic relationship. And again, I hold my hands up and take full responsibility for my part in that. I was bringing a toxic person to the party, somebody who was highly dependent on drugs and alcohol and anger issues and
Mm.
very low self worth. And we had been enjoying a full range of narcotics the night before this job. It's Valentine's Day. So I arrive in Leicester Square, because it was Leicester Square, wasn't it? And it's just the way into the opera. Oh no, it's the main cinema complex. That's right. It's the main Leicester Square cinema complex that hosts the BAFTAs. And I just got there after about 4 hours sleep, hungover, on a come down, but I'm used to that. I'm a pro at this, but I knew that wouldn't really affect me. I walk through all the police, the layers of security, and I get to the first bit where I now have to be searched and my bag has to be searched. And this is my very first ever day and
Oh,
job in
no.
television. And the person who I really admire and respect, having spoken to him for 3 hours on the telephone, has put me up for this job. And I'm carrying in my bag, in a tin, I have got hashish, flour, cocaine, MDMA, tobacco. And it never even occurred to me that I would get searched. And so my heart sinks. I'm watching the person. I've got police all behind me as well. There's so many police there and security. And I'm just going, oh, fuck. Yeah, well, this is over before it started. I'm watching you now. Yep, you're going to find the tin. You've got the tin. Great. You've pulled the tin out of the bag. This is game over. I'm like breaking out into a sweat. I've got like gone grey. And bless this person. They took the tin, opened it up, looked inside, went, oh, shut it, put it back in my bag, and went, on you go. Sliding doors. Sliding doors. The career that I've enjoyed or not enjoyed for the first 11 years, 10 years, I would never have had if that person had ragged along.
Oh my god.
So you're like, holy shit, life can sometimes hinge on real moments. And oof, needless to say, oh yeah, looking after Patrick Stewart. Wow. Now, here's the other thing. This is when you know you're walking your path, because I was there to chaperone Patrick Stewart, which meant in the daytime, I'm involved in the rehearsals for the main show as Patrick Stewart. I'm the stand-in for Patrick Stewart. So I have to be Patrick Stewart because later on in the day, I'm going to be introducing myself to him. Then I'm going to be looking after him. I'm going to be taking him on all his routes and all the rest of it. But also, then they don't have to pay out stand-ins. You can be the stand-in for the camera rehearsal, all the block through, and all the rest of it. Stephen Fry, the great Stephen Fry. I don't even know if you know who Stephen Fry is, but in our country, he's a national treasure. He's a comedic genius. He's an intellectual powerhouse, academic, like Oxford graduate, oh, Cambridge graduate. Sorry, Stephen, if I've got your lineage there wrong, but like a national treasure. And here I am now coming in from the wings as Patrick Stewart to meet him on stage, to shake his hand and turn to the lectern and now start reading auto cue. Hello, everyone. It's lovely to be here. I'm Patrick Stewart. And I was there to present an award. So I had to, and here are the nominations for. Da, 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 da. I was like, fucking, this is amazing. It's like the best like acting gig I've ever had in my life. I've got lines to read. I'm pretending to be somebody else. I'm meeting a hero, shaking his hand. I'm like, this is wild. I like it. I don't care the day is 12 hours long. I'm smelling the stage. I'm like, this is where I'm supposed to be. The friend that I told you about earlier, it's given me all this unconditional love all my life and just wanted to save me. He had massive savior complex. We can talk about that now. He wanted to save me. He
He
was
kinda
in
did,
Rec
yeah.
Theatre with Patrick Stewart about a year beforehand at the Nottingham Playhouse. They'd worked together for about 3 or 4 months. He's like, "Oh my God, you're chaperoning Patrick Stewart. That's so sick. Tell him I say hi." And so I'm like, "Oh, yeah, of course. Brilliant. You've worked with him. What an icebreaker. Meet Patrick Stewart. Like, I'm Sebastian. I'm going to be looking after you this evening and all the rest of it. And it's so lovely to meet you. It's a real honor, Patrick. But on top of that, it's a real chance for me to say hello from so and so." He's like, "Oh, la di da di da. Ice broken. Off we go." We get on like a house on fire. He comes away afterwards telling everyone, "This guy, absolutely first class, looked after me beautifully." Do you know what I mean? Just like very, very cool. I'm
Singing
standing
the
next to Scarlett
praises.
Johansson. I've got Scarlett Johansson right next to me there. I've got Patrick Stewart right next to me there. I've got Billy Boyd and uh, Dominic McMahon, the two fucking hobbits from Lord of the Rings. I'm waiting to send, and they're all just chatting away to each other, and I'm doing the butler, like, "You're just here to guide. You do not get involved in their conversations. You're like, you're not part of their world."
You're
So
yep.
I'm just standing there, just going, this. I mean, like, this is back in, what are we talking about? 2000. It would have been 2003, 2003, 2004. Yeah, it would have been 2004. And I'm like stood next to all my film like
Like,
heroes,
idols,
listening to
yeah.
them talking inane, like, just the most casual of chats and conversations, just like real normal human beings. They're just like the rest of us, and that realization is just like, "Oh yeah, they're human. Oh, that's really cool.
Oh,
They're
yeah, they
fucking
do the same
human."
stuff.
So that means, so then I went off that into being a runner at this TV studio, and my friend was the floor manager, and I made myself indispensable. I was older than the other runners. They all came with this, like, "We're in TV now." And I was like, "I'm not in TV yet. I am not in TV yet. I might be working, but I'm not in TV yet. I need to just keep my head down, keep learning, working. I've got
Working it, yeah.
absolutely no right to be here." The first 10 years of my career, absolutely riddled with imposter syndrome, and absolutely riddled with the mistakes of someone that does not know what they are doing. And every single one of those lessons was painful. I almost lost my job so many times. I have I've been in the worst places where you could be as a floor manager, working with the most difficult of talent, working the most ridiculous of schedules, so on and so forth. And oh yeah, sorry, how did I become a floor manager? The reason how I became a floor manager was the studio was doing an outside broadcast show, which was called the Great Garden Challenge, which was a garden design challenge show set in the walled garden of Blenheim Palace in Oxfordshire, with three very, very, very famous gardening presenters and a host of people that we would have. They've got a certain measurement of plot, and we would look at four each week. So each or each day, so each day a new four sets of teams of two would attack this plot and turn it into an award-winning space, and then it would end up with us tying that in with the Chelsea Flower Show and the British Horticultural Society
Oh,
at the end of the series. So this was all to lead towards the Chelsea Flower Show in garden design. And the first 2 months were in sheet rain, outdoor broadcast. I'm not a stranger to outdoor broadcast, but a lot of that. But this was in sheet rain, and it became like the Somme. Everything turned to mud. I had camera operators walking backwards on shot with our main presenter with their shoes or boots coming off in the mud. I remember just seeing this poor guy having to keep going backwards with one bare foot and one just dying. It was laughter because it was just like, that'll teach you to do your
this is
shoelaces up, won't it?
ridiculous.
There's a lesson for you in there, but it's funny as hell. But because yeah, they got me to do, they promoted me to be an assistant floor manager. They'd hired a floor manager for this job, and my friend who I'd been assisting or a studio floor runner for in the studio was continuing doing all the shows that came through the studio, and here's my opportunity to actually carve a little niche for myself. And
Self,
within
yep.
3 weeks they fired the floor manager because they just didn't like him. All I was doing was focusing on supporting him, catching every ball that he dropped, not drawing attention to it, and so it's like keeping this live show running. It's hectic. It was chaotic. It was amazing. It was a great show to really come into because it was very demanding. The
Mhm.
scale, and you'd be like picking up a presenter, both of you jumping onto a golf buggy to get from one point, yeah, burn off to another
All
part
the way to the other.
of the Blenheim Palace, so that there's a beauty spot where we want to do this next item from. So it was like kickball, scramble, like way, it was everything. The best like for me, it was like, and I'm outside breathing fresh air, wonderful stuff. And then they fired the floor manager, and it was like, why? Well, we don't like him. He keeps dropping the ball. I'm like, okay. And then it's like, everybody's noticed that you have been driving the show, not him. So we've asked the director, how does he feel about you being the floor manager? And he said, give him a go. And so they gave me a go. And the person that I got to be my assistant was in a very similar position to how I'd been. And this person was doing such a great job and was really gonna. It was so obvious. He was very tall, very good looking, very charming. Complete opposite of me. I was so jealous of him. I was so jealous of him, but I was never going to get in his way. So he'd said to me only a few days beforehand, he'd seen me being the unit floor manager for the afternoon records that we did, because this other floor manager just pissed off after the live show, but there's still loads of work still to do. So I was doing all the afternoon pre-records with the presenters, talent, so they're all getting to know me and getting to know. And he'd come out on one of these, and he's like, "Seb, you look like a real floor manager these days." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, really? Okay,
Is
cool." And he's like, "If they ever make you a floor manager, would you consider me to be your assistant?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, in a heartbeat, dude, absolutely." And then, like, probably about 3 days later, they made me the floor manager, and he became my assistant. He is a very successful floor manager in this country now. He's also a very successful first assistant director. He's done all the big shows in this country. He went past me
Holy.
fucking years ago and didn't look back. And bless him. To this day, I still have a lot of love for him. I didn't notice how naked his ambition was, and it felt
Mm.
like I was used. And then that's another lesson. You get the, I want to help people. And then there will be people that will just literally go, cool, I could use that person. He seems very friendly. He seems very helpful. And I can use him to springboard into my next thing. And my attitude towards that is like, as long as I've helped someone,
You can't.
I haven't lost. I
Yeah.
haven't lost. I haven't lost anything. I haven't lost a damn thing. Which is why I can say, like there's no bitterness there now. I hated him when I was younger because it was just like he's got all the cards. I've got a gammy leg. I had my hip replaced during my studio career. because of a severe hip disease that I had. I had 19 years of chronic pain. I was a cripple.
God.
I couldn't walk. And so yeah, to have this person, God, I hope he never listens to this. But yeah, I was really jealous of him, and then I made peace with it and really helped him out. But that is how I became a floor manager. Told you it was a long story. And after 11 years in the studio, having made a shit ton of mistakes, some of them felt like career ending, having worked with my heroes of floor management on bigger shows and absolutely blown my chance, I thought I'm shit. I also thought the only jobs that like me are the really fucking hard ones with difficult talent, and that's why everyone tells me I'm really good and all the rest of it. It's just like I want the big shine, I want the big, and then and I I like the very same friend. So now my friend who went to that drama school was giving me the unconditional love. He graduated from drama school. He did his work with Patrick Stewart in the Nottingham Playhouse, the Rep Theatre. He did various films and TV. And yeah, he moved to LA permanently. He
Wow.
came back one of his Christmas breaks back, and I'm still in London. So he came to see me in London and my wife and my newly born son. And we went out together that evening, had some drinks because I was still drinking very heavily. And he was like, is everything okay? And I was just like, no, my marriage is, I can't even describe the loneliness in my marriage. I'm doing everything I can to try and make her happy. But that's what I thought. I'm not blaming. I just want to be very, very clear here. I'm on very, very good terms with my ex-wife. I adore her and I care for her a great deal. So this isn't an opportunity for me to flag somebody off. I was sharing with my friend. I didn't know what I know now. So
Yes,
I was just
exactly.
like, this was a nightmare. We haven't been happy for years. Now we've got the baby and it's even worse. And he's like, dude, uh, and I was like, oh yeah, yeah, because he was telling me like, I don't even do cocaine anymore. And I'm like, what? It's amazing. When I had my hip replaced at the age of 29, I went into hospital for 5 days. That was my chance to get off cocaine. I don't remember my 20s. There's a black
Oh,
hole.
wow.
I filled that space with narcotics and running for myself. When I had my hip replaced, I had 5 days in hospital, which gave me a chance to get off coke. And then I moved in with him, that same friend, on the other side of London, away from all of my contacts, so I could continue to stay off cocaine.
Oh,
He didn't stop doing cocaine, but he provided a place for me to do to be safe from it. And his beautiful girlfriend at the time, who, again, I'm not naming these people because some of them are famous, and it's not fair on
we
them.
don't, yeah.
They haven't been asked to be part of this conversation. So, and it also, I think you don't need to know their names, but they are quite famous people and incredibly kind. And so, yeah, that gave me the opportunity to get off the cocaine. And yeah, so I've been clean. I'm 48 now, and I was 29 when I had my hip replaced. So I've fallen off the wagon 3 times, and every single time was oh, go on then, fuck it, why not? I'm at a wedding or a birthday or whatever, and everyone's on it. I'm like, for old time's sake, fuck it. Oh my God, what the fuck did I do that for? Here's the self-loathing, self-hatred. So the
Mm,
3 times that I did fall off the wagon were instant, like, this is no, no,
regret.
no.
I hate that I've done this.
Off this shit. This is you. This is the worst bit of you, and all it's going to do is keep bringing out the worst bit of you. So luckily, cleaned up, replaced that with very, 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 very heavy drinking. But anyway, so he comes back from LA for Christmas to see his folks, to see me, see more, and he's like, "Dude, discovered ayahuasca." I'm like, "What did you just say?" He said, "I've discovered ayahuasca." I'm like, "What are
What
you
is
talking
that?
about, dude?" He's like, "It's a spirit medicine. It's a plant medicine. It's an ancient Peruvian bark where when it's boiled up with the root of something else, it releases DMT, and it's been used as spiritual and soul medicine by Peruvian tribes since to time immemorial. And the West is only starting to learn about this. I was like, you fucking what? He goes, yeah, my shaman. I'm like, you're fucking shaman? Because yeah, dude, it's like doing 30 years of therapy in one night. I'm like, whoa. Well, I've spent a lot of money on therapy and it doesn't feel like I'm getting anywhere. And he's like, I want you to do a sacred ceremony. It like it it's really, really helped me. He said, and I'm off fully. And he had a real bad cocaine problem by the time
Mm.
he moved to LA, money from doing TV shows and films and whatnot, and the circles he was hanging out with, dude, he was like
Seriously.
hoovering that shit up, hoovering like worse than I was at my worst. And so to see him come full circle and come out the other side, it was like meeting this my friend whole again. It was like, damn, there must be something in it. So he goes, look, I'll pay for your first sacred ceremony. And my shaman is coming to the UK. Like, do it. Save your marriage, save your life. This will be life changing. Fine, I fucking do it. Sounds good. Now I haven't done anything like that for fuck knows how many years. But
Mhm.
first time I did it, I was like, God, this just doesn't make me feel like anything else makes me feel. And then afterwards I feel ease and things have been enhanced a little bit because I only did a little bit. And I was like, okay, this could do with some exploring. So I invested in whilst he was still over here. I did another one, and that was like I took a photograph of my son with me. That stayed with me. You nest up, you make yourself super comfortable, take the medicine. The shaman uses music the whole time, the whole experience to guide you through, and the shaman then works his way around the floor because you're all in the same room. You can all hear each other's. It's unlike your. It's I've got to be very careful the way I talk about it because I don't want to leak and I don't want to um, misinform or glamorize anything. But needless to
Mm.
say, the effects of that sacred ceremony and the plant medicine were deeply profound because it brought me to a new place with my wife and my son. Didn't
Mm.
necessarily make me a better partner, but it definitely made me a better, as in partner, as in romantic partner, but definitely improved in our relationship and as parents and my relationship with my beautiful child. But then the real thing I noticed was at work, and things had come to a head with a director. And this was a freelance gig that I was doing on the side of my studio job. And we had a real problem with each other. And I couldn't put my finger on it. I was just like, again, it was just like, I'm doing everything I can here to be the person I think you want me to be. And all I'm getting here is abuse. And I'm like, for the first time in my life, I'm like, this is the last time I'm taking that. Boom, headset off. I'm walking. Go fuck yourself. You can do the show like,
Wow.
good luck. And I walked. And production chased me. Went, we'll sort this, please, please. Got a live show to do. We'll sort this. Please stick around for the rest of the day. Let's get this done, but we will sort this. And they offered to mediate between us. And I was just like, I'd already done my first ceremony. And I was just like, no, I've learned. I've actually got to take my bumps up front. And so I phoned him up and we had like a 2 hour chat and turned this really fractious, snide relationship into a friendship, because we were able to gain an understanding of one another. I'm like, okay, hit me with it. What is it that I'm doing that's triggering you so much to make you want to talk to me like this? Because all
Mm.
I want to do is give you love. All I want to do is hug you. I want to support you. Yet you're like, what the fuck am I doing? So he explained all the things that I do. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Well, now I'm right. Ah, God damn, you really did want the opposite type of floor manager to the one I've been giving you. Luckily enough, I can tailor my work to whoever I need to tailor it to. We became super, super good friends. Still a really, really good friend. to this day. Absolutely adore that person. And then the biggest thing was during the journey, my second journey, it came to me like I'm there like trying to heal past trauma and all the rest of it. I'm there
Mm.
to bump through what had happened to me and to reprint it and to let it go so that I'm not holding on to that pain, building up barriers around that pain and trying to protect myself from other people hitting that pain. I need that pain out of me. Then I don't have to walk around with all these fucking defenses, which is exhausting. When you try and spend a lifetime trying to stop other people hitting all your toxic shit that you've hidden away deep down inside and compartmentalized in order to survive, and then someone
A
hits
lot
that
more.
and your response completely outweighs whatever it is that they're perceived to have done. I had a lot of work to do, but yeah, I within this journey, I wasn't in the trauma anymore. I was in the trauma of my job in the studio, which ruled by fear, the fear of you losing your job. And everybody there were all staffers. We're all like, why don't you go freelance? Because I can't. I don't know enough people. I'm here, like, and here we've got a salary,
I've
we've got
worked
like sick
here.
pay, we've got holiday, like I've got a mortgage, I've got a marriage. Do you know what I mean? I'm not good enough to go freelance, was the story I kept telling myself for all those years that I lived in. They ruled you by fear, didn't pay you very much, terrible hours, like all the rest of it, but you were lucky enough to be working in TV. And it is because it's a vocation. You love it. You will do it for way, way less money because you love the job
We're doing,
so
yeah.
fucking much. Yeah. But anyway, I suddenly have this vision during my journey. And I'm like, what's that? It's like, the place where you work, it's going to go bankrupt. And just like, what the fuck? It's going to go bankrupt. And you're going to be made unemployed. All this false sense of security that you're telling yourself as a story that prevents you from going freelance. Well, that's going to turn out to be the biggest crock of shit. So, right now, how do you feel about losing your job? And what would you do if you did lose your job? So,
Mm.
shit, I've got to go freelance. And I've got to go, and I've got to go on my terms.
Mm.
And it was so weird because of the work that the medicine had helped me do on myself. My relationship with everybody in that studio had turned from everyone's a potential threat to everyone here is my friend. I love everyone here. And like people that had weird relationships with me where you can't just quite put your finger on it overnight, all that dissolved. Because the second I brought in the energy, these people are my enemies, these people are my friends, everyone became my friend. It was like, wow, I
Reciprocated.
love it here. I've got to go. And so I handed in my notice. One of the scariest things, one of the scariest days I've ever experienced in my life was handing in my notice, was throwing away my false sense of security. It was like I climbed on top of the very building within which that studio was placed, and I jumped off backwards. And then I was my boss, right, and I gave them 3 months' notice because I wanted to. I only really technically had to give them 1 month, but I gave them 3 months because they'd said to me, "We can't do this show without you," which was my springboard. "Oh, you can't do that show. That's on a Sunday. That's on the weekend, and we're getting paltry extra amount of money for doing that show. You now want me to do every Sunday on top of the Saturdays that we do. So you effectively want me to work 7 days a week,
7 days
but
a
I'm not
week,
going to be
yeah.
recompensed for that financially. It's just no, we thought you'd like, well, the presenters are refusing to work with anybody else. We thought that you'd like this feedback. I'm like, oh, I like the feedback. It's lovely. Thank you. But without any form of compensation for my efforts, it's like, okay, great. Hand in my notice. But what about this show? Well, yeah, you said you can't do it without me. We can't. Well, then you can employ me as a freelancer. So that gave
Can't
me the
keep it
springboard to
that
go
way,
freelance,
yep.
right? That's what opened up the rest of my week to other opportunities. And because as a freelancer, if I did need to go away for a week to China or whatever, I can book that off because I'm a freelancer.
That's
Like it's like they have me at my pleasure, not the other fucking way around. And That's and so going freelance, 2 years later, the place went bankrupt, but I was already out, and I was already firmly established, and I'd already been to Beijing, and I'd already discovered League of Legends, and League of Legends had discovered me. And as my TV career dwindled away, my love for and yeah, engagement with the league community and the job increased. Now you have the full story.
I For the people listening, this podcast is also about people being real and people, like, going through shit and, like, life happens in ways that we don't expect it to. And so, 1, I just wanna thank you for, like, being so honest, and I think you telling us parts of that kinda leads to where you are now, like, n even everyone has that, like, that awakening in some way. Some people do it spiritually through their journey, some people do it through other religions, some people do it through therapy, and I think it's just if you feel broken and if you feel like you're lost, if you feel like you're stuck, you gotta do something. That's the thing, and you were saying, like, you already spent money on therapy and it wasn't working, so your friend offers this and you're like, "Honestly, what do I got to lose?" Like, I feel like your whole story has been like, "What do I got to lose?" Like, at this point, and I think that's amazing, and I will say that is so your story of just, like, the connections and things like that is what I hear a lot when it comes to, like, esports and when it comes to, like, um hell, even content creation, a lot of, entertainment is those connections, but it wasn't connections, like you were saying, because you were born into it, like, yeah, you got lucky with, like, the friend in school that you started out as enemies. Had you guys not connected on something, had you not given one olive branch of, like, you trying out for the play?" You wouldn't have had that connection, and so people are gonna be like, "Oh, so I need to, like, do drugs, I need to drink a lot." It's like, "No, you could also just be a fucking decent human being." Yeah, no, he's, like, giving me the big X with the arms, exactly. You don't have to do that, but the
I
spaces you
I
are
I
in.
I have to jump in. I forgot this is just an oral exercise, so I have to jump in at this point. The journey that I went on is the journey that I went on. Unless
You
you've had the 16 years of trauma to begin with, and you don't have any reason to
you don't
chase
need the same trauma,
addiction
people.
goals. Just like listen to the people that say don't do drugs and kind.
It's this fine line, right, though, too. I don't wanna go too far into this because that's not the topic of this, but it's like, it's important to still hear stories, though, like that, because there are people who are dealing with stuff and it's not drugs and it's not alcohol, it's not these things related, but there's a good handful of people that are. And if you only focus on the people or you interview people who have never touched that stuff, then you really aren't hitting a very wide demographic. And again, we started this, and I can't express again how much I think the league community has seen the side of you that had you not gone through that, we might not have the Seb that we have today, the Seb that we know is going to take care of our players. And again, I don't know if despite's the right phrasing to use for that, but like while you were doing this stuff, you were still doing your job. You were still following your passion. You were still like, I'm hungover, but I can handle this and I'm gonna do this with dignity. I'm gonna do this thing. You got really saved with that one person though going through your backpack. So bless them wherever they are in the world. Bless you. I wanted to say so much stuff, but at the same time, I was like, I don't know how many other people you've told this to, and I want this sounds like a journalist when I say I want this story, but it was just so nice to
I've got a
hear.
real I got a
Yeah.
really nice one to end on as well. I'm sober now. I haven't drunk or touched alcohol for 5.5 years, and that came about through drying out in quarantine in China in 2020 during the pandemic. That changed my life.
Oh my god. But both of those things
China
happened
and League of
because, like,
Legends. saved my fucking life. I was drinking myself to
You heard
death.
it here first, folks. Oh, no, it's I
I'm
love
so
hearing
healthy now.
people's
I'm
stories.
so fit. And luckily I have the ocean, which is where I started out, and now I've returned to fit and well, and with a completely different headspace approach to the ocean and water. And I live a life now that's present. I couldn't give a fuck about the future or the past. I just, it's about the present. And every time something that happens in my present that isn't necessarily something I wanted or planned for, um, I'm able to accept me almost immediately. And I
That
think
this is just the past.
I think that's the superpower is acceptance of reality. For example, you open a cupboard, you reach up for something, something falls down, jar smashes on the ground. The old Seb years ago would have been, oh, for fuck's sake, what is this fucking keep happening to me? I'm supposed to be going out the door right now, and I'm like, this is fucking covered in fucking peanut butter, jam, whatever it is, and fuck, fuck, fuck. Now it's just like, that happened.
That's a thing.
That's it. Now I'll
I
crack on and clear
yeah,
it up, and I'll get out, and I'll still get out the door, but I won't get out the door in this. But the world fucking hates me. That's it. The rest of my day is ruined. Bringing on all that negative energy, which will confirm because you're bringing that shit in. Things will keep going wrong for the rest of the day because you're in that headspace. So I trained myself to go, that just happened, and laugh at it, and then move on. It doesn't affect my inner peace. So it's the
it's
same
also
in your career in a live
mhm.
show. Things happen during a live show. The quicker you can say that happened, great. Now we're not into the we're into right. How can we let's find a workaround right now? Let's find a workaround because that's happened. I'm gonna fucking waste any time. How did that? No, that has happened, and we've only got a very
Done.
limited time to
Gotta
correct it.
go.
And so yeah, and again with blame. Like, such a beautiful thing to work in a place where you don't fear being thrown under the bus. You're not
Mm,
throwing blame around. The blame isn't being thrown around on you. Riot Games, Riot as a company, have created such an amazing working culture and environment all around the world. So I adore going to China, the LPL, and meeting all my friends in China that work on League in China, in Korea, in like all around the world. The same ethos exists. It's a thread that runs through everything Riot. There is transparency. There's the true trickle effect.
mm,
My absolute top bosses are some of the fullest, most rounded people I've ever had the joy to work for. They shower everyone with love and support and confirmation of, yes, we see you. And yes, like I've got several colleagues who've been through transition and stuff like that. So when I first met them, they were what they would say would be the true version of themselves, and now
mm.
they are. To be in that sort of environment where I think that's just the most extreme example, I think, the most visible example of where, yeah, you've created an environment where people can be their authentic selves, they can be the love that is within them, and they can give that love to everybody around them. We have to be careful about the language that we use. And as someone my age, obviously, I've been here a long time, so I've seen language change over
Mhm.
time. And
Yeah.
it gives me great pleasure to learn new language. It's not a fucking problem. It's not a problem. If this language means that somebody feels seen and not like they have no right to live, they have no right or place to be a member of our society just because of the way they are a way they didn't choose.
Hmm.
Like for me, it's like I want to be in the room where we're bringing in everybody. Like I said to you at the beginning of the conversation, I see, I just see humans. I just see friends. I just see friends everywhere I go. It's crazy. The shift. Like I see friends wherever I go. And I've been that way now for I don't know how many years. And you have seen it, this thing growing. And that I'm so lucky that League fans are the way that they are. I'm so lucky that I get to work with players that are the way that they are. Weirdly, they need someone like me. They need someone like me. And the amount that will thank me afterwards for how I've, got them through certain bits, if
Moments,
you
yeah.
like, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing knowing that they know that. I followed it up on one of my Instagram posts a couple of years ago. Seb, which team do you support at Worlds? Next slide. All of them. They're pro
Yes.
elite players playing in front of millions of people under unimaginable pressure. I have nothing but respect and love and care and consideration for every single one of them. And not just those players that you see on the screen, but for the team managers that they've got, for the infrastructure of their organization. Like I've met so many truly wonderful, inspirational people that for me to be able to serve them and to be able to serve the production as a whole, this nicely wraps it up. For me, it's an honor. It's a joy. It's a love. It's more than a job. And then when they gave me that esports award, I was like, I just go and I love my job and I love humans. It's like I don't feel like I deserve this award. Did you want to speak about BDD? Was that one of the things that you wished
Oh,
to
if you would
cover,
like
or do
to,
you want to come back and do you want to circle back in a couple of months' time or something like that? Check in
I
after like
would
MSI or
love
first band?
I would love to have you on another episode. I really only have one question to end it because I feel like that was just so nice and so emotional.
Yeah, that felt nice.
Are are you this is my last question then. Because you've been at Worlds, like, every year now, can we see you in Worlds this year? Is that the plan? Are you integrated enough? Like, are we gonna have our
Oh, do you mean
favorite
like will I be seen
2026?
on the
Well, I
broadcast?
oh, no, 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 I don't know that part, but I mean, like, are you gonna be a floor manager for 2026?
Oh, will I be at Worlds? Will I be at
Yes.
Worlds
Yes.
2026?
Yes.
Um, I'm a freelancer. I don't know. I haven't signed a contract yet.
Riot. Riot, I swear to God, get this man again. I swear to God, we will riot, literally, if you do not. The players might even riot, hell. So, okay, follow-up question to that. How, like, early will like, I guess if you're freelance, it's, like, right before each tournament then, because you have
Um,
MS
so I'm definitely going to first stand. I've got my
okay.
flights to Brazil. So
Yes. Okay.
I think next week I'm off to San Francisco to do the Twitch Streamer Bowl, which
Okay.
is always fun. And yeah, then it's first stand in Brazil. Again, I can't believe it. I've been wanting to go to Brazil my whole life, and this job keeps taking me to places that I've always wanted to be, but gives me such a unique boutique experience. Like, if you go to China, did you go see the Great Wall? No, no, I didn't. No,
I
I
ate some
didn't. I
really
was
awesome
exhausted.
food with people.
Yeah, locals did take me to various places that your average white Westerner wouldn't even know was there. That's where the richness of my experience comes from in these beautiful countries. Is the way that the hosts take me to places that tourists aren't. They're not going to have that experience.
Mm,
Anyone can go to the Great Wall of China. Not anyone can have the experiences that I'm supremely lucky to enjoy. I would have, don't get me wrong, it's not like I don't want to go to the Great Wall. I was too bloody exhausted to get up and go and do. That's a big day out, and that's a lot of
Yeah.
walking. And a lot of the people that went and did those do those trips, they sit down on their job. They're sat down all day long. All day long, I'm running around on my feet,
Yeah.
covering huge distances in big arenas, pumping out massive hype energy. Sorry, nothing against the Great Wall, but
It's
sorry.
also
But yeah,
you're at work. It's not a vacation. Like, you might get a day if you're lucky, like, with travel time or
yeah,
whatever, but you're working, and if your place is in the arena, because I know they did a lot of the promo videos for the finals. They had the teams on the Great Wall, and they were videoing, like, in a very remote part of it. But that's not your area. You are the
that's
arena and
right.
stuff. So, yeah.
About those teasers,
Yes.
those. What's your, as a viewer, as a fan, what's your reaction to those teasers?
If I'm thinking the Great
I'm
Wall
talking
ones,
about those little film vignette, like 4 to 6 minute films they play just before players walk out.
I I'm gonna be honest, I listen more for the players speaking during that, and I don't want to offend you if you are a part of it. Like, I think you do have to have a sort of cinema to it. You can't just have, like, interview stuff up there. So I thought this last year they did it very well. They tie it in with the country. They really make it like it's Olympics. Like, every place that it's done is very, towards its country. It's very well done every year. But I listen for the players. And people are gonna be like, "You listen
Fair,
for
fair.
Faker, you listen for Gumayusi." I listen for all of them because even on the ones that aren't Gen G and aren't T1, they all have, like we were saying, story. You're looking for a story. Whether they've curated these stories for these players, I don't care. There is always some bit of truth because these guys are literally saying, I always lose to this player, not today. And other players are like, I have stood here for so long. I will not be defeated. Like, there's just something very epic about it, but there's also a
Yeah,
kernel of truth, and I love that. It makes the players seem like people. It doesn't
but that's why
I mean
that's why I brought it up. That's why I brought it
yeah.
up. I was interested because it's I personally, whenever I get the chance to see those films, they always make me feel very emotional. They're just
Yes!
beautifully made. They're very cinematic. Like you say, there's always a kernel of truth with every single player. So you know that's that's the fulcrum for that player, their leverage. And I think it's a really beautiful way of transitioning an event from everybody taking their seats to let's take you off on a 5 minute cinematic journey before we then play this epic match of League of Legends. And I don't know any other sports that do that. So,
Do that,
so
right.
my admiration for that team that make those films. People don't realize how much they do with how little. Extraordinary talent, extraordinary talent. And like you said, it really does heighten your affection for the players. I think that they're very effective films for getting you to really feel for and empathize with the players, humanizing them, yes, humanizing
Yes.
them, and creating heroes like the final the film played for the final. After we've done the opening ceremony, we've revealed the players, and
It's
then it
the
goes
2
into the film. While we get
Yep.
earpieces off the players and we put them down in their seats and we get ready for their match. That film covers all of that
I
mess,
forgot that.
and so all of that's going on. And I can see that's all going on, and I'm keeping my director and film informed. But at the same time, I can't help it. I'm also
But look at that.
watching this movie, and I'm just, like, choking as I'm watching it because 'cause I'm just like, "Yeah, if everyone's feeling what I'm feeling on it." I just wanted to, yeah, a big shout out to that team that, make, those films. Good Boy Productions. Those, uh, those films they're great storytellers, and I just think
There's
the countries bid for League of Legends. They bid to host League of Legends
I did
because
know that,
they
yes.
know those films are gonna be made, and those films make your country or your location look absolutely stunning. It's the best bit of tourism sort of advertising you can do, is invite League of Legends to your city, and then they're gonna make all these features packages that make your city just look popping.
And it's not touristy either, like,
No.
it's not like a, "Oh, here's a scanning of, like, the countryside stuff," like, the Chinese one was, like, they went into, like, not lore, but, not history, folklore, basically, that's a word I can only think of, but these
Yeah.
stories, these things with the dragons and these different animals, and they put them to teams, and it's like, you get more than just what you could Google. It is a storytelling, and I play bot lane, I play ADC, so I'm always a fan of whoever decided
Guma!
to put Huh?
Guma,
Yes!
your hero,
God, I'll
your
miss
hero.
him. I'll miss him, but it's okay, I'm ready for this year. But putting the ADC and the support together, like, for all their interviews and all their moments, I'm like, a lot of people hate ADCs, but I'm like, "You don't understand the connection that I've made with people playing League." League is when you're a player, it can be toxic. You can hit levels of people who, it's an online video game, you're gonna come across a lot of people. But when I find a support that I synergize with, we're not on comms, we're just like, like, it's true synergy. It feels like those cinematic moments, so when I see these pro players like this, it's not just a team thing to me, I'm like, "No, no, no, those 2." I think that's why people were up with, like, Guma leaving because the Guma carrier team has been together for so long.
Marriage.
It's a duo within a team. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a duo within the team, and I thought this year they did a fantastic job of that for the final match. It just felt like I don't know, it was, I got choked up watching it. They did a phenomenal job. Oh, man. But, as always, with all of my, um, guests, all of my friends, I am the one that has to end this because I have to go to bed, and unfortunately, my job is, not as fun, and I have to force myself to go. But
Well, thank you for having me
Seb,
on. It's been a
oh
real
my god,
pleasure getting to
no,
know you
thank
and chatting to
you.
you.
I will definitely take you up on that offer to get you back maybe after, first stand, maybe when we know some more updates to, like, talk about some more things. I would love to have you back.
Cool.
You're not very again, you work in the entertainment, you work, like, on the front lines, on the floor. Do you have anything to plug or anything you want people to go watch? If
No.
Okay. That's
But
fine with me.
thanks.
I always offer. Yep, of course.
Read
Um
read my new book, 10 Steps to Success, coming out next week.
How to be the perfect floor manager. Follow step
Uh,
5 to be on League of Legends. But everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, really, really appreciate it. Patreon especially, thank you guys so much for your support. You are the reason why I get to do cool things like you guys give me the confidence to literally say, "Fuck it, we ball." I send DMs to random cool people and they say, "Sure, I'm down. Love to do it." So, if you're here, you're in the right place. You know where to be. All the other links will be somewhere in the description. And with that, I hope you have a great day, night, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Bye,
Bye.
guys.